So yeah, I know this episode is about you because I like episodes to be about the guests. But we were just talking before we started recording. We just violated podcast protocol because what did we talk for? Probably 15 minutes. That was some pretty good stuff. But it was rooted around how people in my life are, now that I think I'm like 20 days out from the expedition, a lot of people in my life are starting to show a tremendous amount of fear around that. And obviously being a military pilot and whatnot, you had a lot of experience with that in your life as well. And it was just interesting seeing, like, at the end of the day, we can't allow our women to project their fear on the warrior's calling to go do whatever it is you want to do.
Dude, I would say this too. You can't allow a non-warrior energy to violate what the warrior's called to do. So you said women.
Pull that up a little more. There we go.
Yeah, you said women, and I think that's fair because that's what you're experiencing. But I'll be straight with you, man. I've had dudes, men, male, biological male, that have that same energy. And again, I'm not trying to be difficult or be an asshole about it, but it's like, motherfucker, if I'm going to do something and it's in your eyes dangerous or out of line or whatever, then that's good for you to feel that way. Live your life in that energy state. But me, I'm going fucking full gas, no brakes in this direction.
Well, plus that's their energy to sit with and carry.
1,000%.
If you want to feel fearful because of a choice that I'm making, that's for you. You don't project that on me. And that's what was kind of perturbing me about this is like, when people get a hold of you and say, man, there's a part of me that doesn't think you make it. Don't fucking, and let me say the caveat, my wife and my daughters have been as supportive as everyone. Jenny is actually like, she goes, I've already dreamed about you like landing in Maui and me waiting for you. Yeah. She goes, I know that moment happens. I already know it.
Yeah.
She's not sitting in fear, but she also went through multiple combat deployments as my woman.
Right.
So she has some repetitions of watching Greg leave, wondering if she's ever going to see him again.
Yeah.
Not that that's necessarily good or bad, but it's just real.
Yeah.
It's an experience that she is familiar with now.
Yeah.
And she actually told one of her friends that was kind of concerned, and she goes, "Oh, I feel like I kind of get it now." You know? But one thing you said right before we started recording, I said the reason I want to do this, reason number one, is simply because I want to. And you said, say no more.
Exactly.
That's it, bro.
That's it, man.
If you have to explain yourself any further, it's likely that it's almost just going to be some form of a debate. Because if they can't understand, hey, I'm doing this for me, then we're probably not going to come to an understanding anyways. And that's not good or bad. That just is, man.
Right.
But the thing that I don't understand, pick up any book about history, not the ones that were manipulated by our enemies,
right,
but
right.
The real ones, right? or those ones too.
Yeah.
People have been doing wild shit since people have been peopling.
That's right, man.
Building boats, building planes, climbing mountains, going on fucking like soul searching journeys. Like you see those guys are like, they walked from the tip of South America all the way to Russia.
Right.
Things like that, right?
Who fucking even conceives of that?
Why do they want to do that?
Yeah.
I don't really care why. Yeah. I'm just fascinated that they're doing it.
Yeah.
Now, there are good whys, like, dude, fucking just how far can I push myself, or soul searching, personal development. All those things are cool.
Yeah.
But, dude, just enjoy being a human being, enjoy being in this meat-covered skeleton, and go do some adventures. It's what our ancestors did. That's what the experience is supposed to be.
Man, I'll tell you, when you said that, you were like, the very first, thing out of your mouth was because I want to. To me, I'm like, how many people, and I'm not talking about like, oh, I feel like going to the grocery store and buying 10 pounds of fucking junk food and sitting on the couch and Netflixing. No, I'm not talking about that. It's like, I want to go do something. And the first answer, if somebody goes, well, what caused you? Why do you want to do that? And if your answer is because I want to, that should be fucking all there is to it.
Yes.
Especially if it's something that is especially in this case, you and the other three gents are fucking pushing yourselves in a way that you have not done in your life. Now, you've done some crazy shit, some cool shit, things you should be very proud of, some accomplishments, deployments and otherwise, pushing yourself through range or regiment, all of those things. So that in and of itself, those are accomplishments. And the average person would be thrilled to be able to look back on their life and go, wow, look what I did. You are, the three of you are demonstrating through your, like this pursuit that it's just like the fucking name of the podcast. It's an endless endeavor.
100%, bro.
And I can't, that's to me a very long-winded answer to a simple question. Like, why do you want to do this? Because I said so. Like that should be as good as it gets. And if more fucking people did that, and it could be anything, man, I'm going to write a book.
That's right.
I'm going to, pay off my mortgage. It doesn't matter what the fucking thing is. If it's a big stretch for you personally, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to pursue and get my black belt in jiu-jitsu. There are going to be people that no matter what you say, they're going to look at you like you're fucking crazy.
I know.
And and the reason they do that, and the reason they give you the shit like what you guys are, and I know you know this, but it's, more for the listeners. If somebody's going to push back on you with your big dream, it's not because of you. It's because they're looking at your dream through their lens.
That's right.
They're going, there's no fucking way I would get in a boat with 3 dudes and go across 3,100 fucking miles in the open ocean. Are you fucking high?
Yeah. And so they feel fear.
Yeah.
And then they attach their fear to my journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird thing. Like for me, I'm a good athlete. I'm a good grappler, but I've also been around great athletes, great grapplers, guys. I mean, you know how those guys in the Army, we had a guy in my company that could run a 9:46 in his 2 mile. You know what I mean? Like, like what are we talking about?
Yeah.
I've never been the elite of the elite. I was a good ranger. I'm a good black belt. I'm not saying anything self-deprecating, but the one place where I do have a superpower is if I say I'm going to do something, I fucking do it.
Yeah.
Because that is something that is, this might sound weird. It's actually that's an easy trait to carry within yourself.
Yeah.
If you're not going to do it, don't say it. And if you do say it, hold yourself to that standard. That's it. And I mean, I look at myself, I look back on like 20-year-old me going to be an Army Ranger. If I had rang that bell, and we don't have a bell, the SEALs have a bell, but that analogy holds true so people can understand. And then I had to go look at my father in his eyes. I said I was going to do it, and then I quit. Now, the guys that fucking break their legs or fail a patrol, like there are reasons you can fail out from being a ranger that are more or less outside of your control, right? Yeah. But just saying, hey, I can't do this anymore, give me death first.
Fucking 100%.
Because, dude, what else are you worth if your word is fake? And I used to tell guys, and this isn't just for going into Ranger Regiment, but like I saw it in multiple different agencies where they're in the academy, like, I don't want to be here anymore. This is stupid. This job feels stupid. And I said, listen, on the graduation stage, when you're about to get your diploma and they hand it to you and it says Deputy U.S. Marshal, then you can walk up to the microphone and say, hey, I accomplished this, but this agency is not for me. Then you can walk away with honor. Anything before that, they're breaking you.
100%.
Yep. And I don't care if it's Delta Selection, SEAL, you get your trident pinned. That's when you can say, you know what? The SEALs aren't for me. Yeah. You can't say the SEALs aren't for me when you're out on the beach under a log.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. They want you to think that.
100%.
They want that to be the moment when you think you can't be a SEAL.
Yeah.
And I remember, I mean, you've listened to the podcast, so you probably heard like out in fucking Fort Benning under a log in February in Fort Benning, it's pissing rain.
Yeah.
And people are quitting. And it's just like, even 19-year-old me was like, this just doesn't make sense. Like, what did we think we were getting into?
Right.
You know?
Exactly. And what's funny about it too is, I was thinking about this relative to the voyage you guys are getting ready to go on, is there's a period of time from the time you announced it to the time when you'll hit land on Maui, where you'll go through different iterations of this sucks, this is awesome, this is, probably borderline blissful. You guys will have moments of all of that shit. And you were talking about this before, and I was really taken by it. You also mentioned it when you guys did your team. I think it was like part 1. Forgive me if I have that mistaken, but
you better start memorizing.
Yeah, I got to memorize your podcast episodes. It was like when you guys were.
That's part of being a white belt here.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking prove what you know what you're talking about. I want to make sure I maintain emotional stability. Like I don't want to be the guy that's barking orders and acting like a tyrant on the water.
Yeah.
You know, I want everybody to, you know, and to find that emotional buoyancy. And to me, dude, I think that is, you don't have to be on an open fucking ocean voyage. That should be the hallmark of being a fucking man, because it's very easy. I used to fly off the handle. I used to have road rage like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
And I'd be the guy that would, you know, like, you know, kind of swing his dick a little bit when he walked in the room. And I've found that, you know, there's a point in time where I think that is more, I guess, demonstrative of your insecurities
100%,
as opposed to
bro.
your strength and power.
Yes.
The real strength and power is to be under pressure. So under the log and go, this fucking sucks. And I'm going to just sit in it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to avoid it. So some guys will avoid it through, you know, throwing a temper tantrum or trying to show how fucking macho and alpha they are. Some guys will be like, fuck this, I'm out, ring the bell. The real power, the real strength is sitting in that absolute fucking discomfort. Not just pain, but the discomfort of like, I don't know if I can hang in with this anymore.
Yeah.
Friday night, fucking one of the most awesome nights I've had so far. I'm with Drew, purple belt, and
Savage.
He gets me up, and I don't even know what the fuck choke it was, but I heard the, you know, that like 10
the 10
seconds left,
seconds.
and I'm like, I'll fucking die on my feet. I'm not tapping, motherfucker. And it wasn't like trying to be a tough guy. I wasn't talking to him.
No, yeah,
I was talking to me.
you're going to figure out a way to fight through it.
Yeah, I'm like, fucking Drew is going to kill me before I tap. Like, this is not happening. And it was the longest 10 seconds in the world. And it's like, and I'm not saying that like is some cool fucking story, right? It's a white belt fucking story.
Yeah, because Drew is a fucking monster.
He'll kill you.
Yeah.
Like he's a fucking lethal weapon.
Well, no, I tell people this all the time in jiu-jitsu. Don't try and hone that internal fight with joint locks. Someone's twisting your arm. Oh, fuck this. I'm going to get out. Right? Yeah. But with chokes, and once you're a purple belt yourself, like you'll know when you got.
Yeah.
And someone locks in a bow and arrow, you got me, right? Mm-hmm. But it's very important to learn what the process looks like, because if you just tap every time someone gets on your neck, well, what does it really mean to get choked to death? Mm-hmm. And I think it's important to push it and find that. It's a dichotomy, right? Because there's guys that go unconscious every class. Mm-hmm. I've had those athletes.
Yep.
Equally as detrimental as the guys that just, you got me, right? Yeah. Hone your toughness, hone your jiu-jitsu, find the point of where you know, like, if this was real, the walls are closing in, you're getting tunnel vision. All right, if this was real, this is where I would be getting killed. Tap, you got me.
100%.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, back to your journey, I can't imagine, like, it's funny because I don't get it because I can't, but I can get it from a standpoint of, almost energetic or spiritual, as weird as that might sound. The minute you announced you were doing this, I was like, fuck yeah. And it was never like, I understand intellectually how somebody goes, dude, are you sure about this? Like I can see how somebody would say that, because this is high consequence. Mm-hmm. There's no fucking, like, we're not going to sugarcoat this.
One might say, no one is coming to save you.
No one literally is coming to save you. I mean, 40-foot rollers, the whole fucking thing. So, but what is to me inspiring, and I think the thing that most people, I would hope they wouldn't miss, the thing that I would get from it, and anytime I talk about this with even my kids, is whether your version of this is going out on the open ocean, or it's going out to start a business, or it's going out to, explore just the planet. You're just going to go travel the world in the fucking chaos that it's in right now. It's the fact that you said right here, right now, I had one of my very first business mentors, his saying was, I'm grateful, but I'm not content. Mm-hmm. You're not running from anything. It's not like you're like, I can't
handle this. I got to get my wife's a bitch. I got to get out of here.
Yeah. And I can't handle being a, fucking business owner, and I can't, I got to leave. I got to escape. That's far from it. You could very easily, and I know you well enough to say this with clarity, is, dude, I got it fucking made in the shade.
100%, bro.
And you could live the rest of your life like this, and people would look at you and go, fuck, Greg, you did it, brother. Mm-hmm. And you could say, I did it. And yet, there's that fucking pull.
There's that thing, man.
When you said that the very first time, you're like, there's this pull, I think is how you, or at least that's how I understood it. I was like,
Yeah, just a calling.
A calling. Almost like, fuck yeah, dude. All gas, no brakes. You got to go for it.
Got to go for it, man.
Yeah.
Something that I wanted to highlight that I think is important, and then we're going to talk about you. All right, we're not going to talk about me anymore. But you know, we talked about it before we hit recording, and you just touched on it again. Is like sitting in emotional composure. Mm-hmm. Sitting in emotional composure is it will similarly to you. I've been pulled outside of composure. Guy cuts me off. Dude, fuck you. Get out of my car. What do you want to do about motherfucker? Like. Mm-hmm. I've been pulled outside of emotional composure. I actually think in high stakes activities and high consequence activities, staying emotionally composed is actually a little easier for me. It's not a little harder.
Right.
Because it's like, it's black and white. I do this or I do that. This is success. This is failure. Very clear. I think in modern society, we're always sitting in this gray area where it's hard to like, just take a hard stance. No, I'm here or I'm there, period, right?
Yeah.
And so one of my goals is to sit in emotional composure for the duration of the trip. Again, like we talked about, doesn't mean I won't be afraid, doesn't mean I'm not going to get angry. But if I'm angry at Will for something, I want to say, Will, hey, you're doing this and it's making me angry. Mm-hmm. And how do we come to a resolution as brothers that we can both say, okay, we're putting this behind us, as opposed to, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like one of my goals is sitting in emotional composure. Now, emotional composure does not mean you're not a violent, wild animal. It means you're making the choice of who shows up.
Yep.
Because if I hear someone kick down my front door and I find them trying to get into my daughter's room, there's a version of me that it will be very intentional that gets unleashed on that person that most people can't comprehend.
Yeah.
And it's going to be violence of action, and the guy is going to confront a gorilla that rips him apart.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the choice to do that, not an emotional response like getting out of your car at an intersection. And bro, dude, 45 years old, still figuring this out. Did I tell you about last week?
No.
God, last week, dude. I feel like I'm arriving at a place in life. Fuck, I'm writing books about it. Shit, I better be able to control myself. But I'm sitting at an intersection and the guy in front of me is not going and there's no other cars. And it's just like probably on his phone or something, right? And I could have just beep, but I kind of beep. And I can own it was a little too long, right?
Yeah.
So he throws his hand out the window. Fuck you, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to follow him home and start a fight with him. But as the universe had it, we both ended up in the Home Depot parking lot.
Shit.
We're going to Home Depot. That's what both of our mornings entailed. And he keeps looking back at me, right? He's probably 4 rows down. He's looking back at me. I get out of the truck. He gets out of his truck and it's just like, well, who knows where this is going to go? I mean, I'm always willing to go wherever someone wants to take it. And then he reaches in and he pulls a baby out and puts it in the car seat in the cart, right? And Jenny was with me. And I said, well, altercation's off the table now.
Yeah.
I don't care if I was wrong or he was wrong. Like, we all agree as men when you have a baby with you, and I'm sure you probably noticed this throughout your life. When you have your kids with you, they are a de-escalation tool.
1,000%.
No, but you walk around as a man, there's always posturing, there's always sizing up. You're in the soup aisle at Safeway and you walk by another guy that looks like he might be formidable. And it's not even arrogance. It's like you got to know who's who in the zoo, right?
That's right.
But when you're holding the hand of a 4-year-old, it's always like, what's up, bro?
Yeah.
There's no energy of like competition. And as soon as he pulls his kid out, I told Jenny, I said, combat's off the table, obviously. the last thing I would do, really no matter what he did, is beat the fuck out of someone.
In front of their kid.
Well, their kid's in a fucking car seat in a fucking grocery cart.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
But because he kept looking, I was like, oh, fuck, dude. I don't want to say he's scared, but he's obviously concerned that he has this baby with him, and now there's me in a parking lot. Like, what is going on, right?
Yeah.
So I just went up and shook his hand. I said, I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah. Nice.
I shouldn't have honked at you. That's my bad.
Yeah.
And then he goes, Yeah, I shouldn't have flipped you off. My bad too, bro. And then it was like, all right, we're homies now.
But you know what's fucking
Bro,
crazy?
it was better than fighting.
Yeah. Because what happened? There was a connection between two fucking men. And the issue that I've had really for probably the last at least, I don't know, 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Probably 2019 is when I first noticed it, probably.
And how old are you now?
I'm 55.
Okay.
I just turned 55 a couple weeks ago. And it's like, I've just noticed how guys, I don't even know how to explain it. More of a willingness to kind of bitch out, like play the victim.
For sure.
And so there's this posturing. And I have this theory. So there's the old saying like, oh, you know, like certain countries have, where you have to join the military and serve 2 years. Mandatory service, right? Well, we should bring that to the U.S. I'm like, fuck no, we shouldn't. We have the greatest fighting force in the world because it's volunteer. And you have people who fucking mostly genuinely love their country. And that's, at least when I joined, it was.
Well, plus it also feels like an element of communism to me.
1,000%, dude.
We're free, but you have to go do this.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either.
However, I do have a theory. I think it would be interesting social experiment to make people do 6 months of fucking jujitsu. You have to go 2 to 3 times a week, and you have to fucking, like, you can't just walk in the door. And the reason I say that is I've been doing this now. I just hit 5 months.
Okay.
And granted, you have to understand, like, I got hurt and then I got sick. So it wasn't like 5 contiguous months. There were times where it was just broken service, if you want to call it that. It's not that I've learned how to kill somebody or that I've become exceptionally fucking skilled, because we all know that's not true. It's like funny to even say it even to me, and you're sitting there laughing. You're like,
bro, I'm laughing because you'll be doing this for 20 years. You'll have a black belt around your waist, and there'll be days when you think you're awesome, and then there's going to be plenty of days you still think you suck.
100%. One thing I will tell you that it has reinforced to me, and I would like to believe that at 55 years of age, I already kind of knew this, but the one I will tell you, my top 3 favorite parts about jiu-jitsu is it trains you and teaches you about respect.
100%.
For me, and I'm going to be totally transparent and be fucking completely unfiltered on this, it's more respect for myself. And we can dive into that all you want, but most people walk around with this kind of Dunning-Kruger, if you know what that is, like this false sense of like, yeah, I'm really good at this, or I'm really smart. So a lot of people think they're experts in geopolitical fucking shit, or, you know, medical things. All of a sudden during COVID, everybody's a fucking expert in, you know, viral, you know, disease and things like this. Like, no, you're not, motherfucker. You know,
Yeah.
If you wear a mask, you're a fucking idiot, you know, that kind of shit. But there's a lack of respect. They don't respect each other. So flipping somebody off is fine, but you'll see comments in the comment section on social media, and you're like, clearly this motherfucker would never say that to you face to face. Because if they walked in the room and they're like, Jesus Christ, there's Greg Anderson.
And they're going to feel the energy before any physicality takes place.
So you can walk in, like Annie is, I got 100 pounds on Annie, and she'll fuck me up. You know what I mean?
I love Annie. She's fucking rad.
I love Annie too. And
she's so savage.
But if you saw Annie in the produce aisle at the store, you'd be like,
yeah,
you know,
what is she, 5'3"?
Yeah,
a Cuban woman.
But you put her on the mat, and you're like, okay, let's square up, and you're just some fucking donut eater off the street. You're getting fucking ruined.
Yeah,
like she's gonna ruin your day, and not just from an ego standpoint. Like, it's gonna hurt, like your shoulder, your elbow, something's fucking. If you don't know to tap, you're fucked.
Yeah,
and I say that because it's the like. And if it's not jujitsu, it's got to be something where a person is put into a situation where they realize your mouth and your attitude and your opinions aren't the only fucking thing in the world. At some point, you've got to respect another human being enough. And so when you said you got in this altercation, or, you know, is this going to escalate into violence? The instant you realized he had a baby, it was off the table.
Yeah.
That's a fucking sign of respect. And it wasn't you self-deprecating. It was you going, that's a man with a child. I'm not going to fuck him up. He's clearly a father, at least in a fatherly position.
Yeah.
Could be the uncle, who knows? But at that point, we're assuming it's his dad. And then what happened? You walked up, you fucking shook his hand. It wasn't from a place of bitching out. You weren't like, I'm so sorry. You were like, hey, bro, I was wrong. That you know how fucking much like leadership and strength and power that takes to go, I was wrong.
Well, bro, and this is where my brain goes, right? I see him looking over at me a couple times, right? And now I see he has a kid. And I'm 215 pounds. I'm a good athlete. He wasn't so much, right? So if he sees himself and he needs to defend himself against me and he has a child, what's probably his next escalation tool? Potentially a firearm. And then I was like, then I would have to shoot him in front of his child.
Right.
Like it went from like, I want to fucking slap the shit out of this guy to like the thought of having to shoot him in front of his kids.
Yeah.
It got gross real quick, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what I was like, well, I'm not gonna let a dude shoot me, but I don't want to kill someone in front of their kids.
Yeah.
Like, bro, it's time to go de-escalate this right now.
100%.
And just get because once you're walking around the store and like you come around a corner and it's like, didn't want it to get weird.
Yeah.
Because dude, the majority of violent encounters are probably pretty fucking avoidable if we're being honest.
Right.
You know? And the fact that he shook my hand and it was like, you know how when you're a little kid and you're getting in an argument on recess and then you fight each other?
Yeah.
And then afterwards it's gone.
Yeah.
It's like, where was that tension at?
Yeah.
Actually, I kind of like you now.
Yeah, exactly.
I felt that just from a handshake. I felt the tension go, poof, and it was like, oh, okay. I don't know if I've felt that before.
That's pretty amazing.
45 years of life.
And maybe that's what it took, man.
Yeah.
Just that 45 years of life and the experience of being in real violence and knowing what real violence will lead to. And then having the leadership and I would say maturity, but I don't mean that in a patronizing way, but the lived experience to go, yeah, we don't need to go over the guy flipping me off on the road.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, somebody comes through the front door of my house at night.
It's on.
It's fucking on,
it's
brother.
on.
Like, we're racking the slide. It's like, I don't care who you are.
But speaking of that, do you see the video that went viral, I think yesterday?
Oh, that dude
that had he's like a veteran that had a psychotic break and he ran into someone's house and was like shaking all the doors and he's like, where's she at? Where's she at? Where's she at? Where's she at? That dude would have been aired out.
Exactly.
No fucking doubt. And that dude picked up a snow shovel. He goes, hey brother, are you a veteran? Because he was too. And he sensed some PTS triggers.
Yeah.
He goes, I am. He goes, let's go out to front and talk about it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, bro.
Yeah. Great self-control because
yeah.
Like, wear a mask, bro.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking wait to figure out who the fuck you are if you're trying to get my daughter's room at 2 a.m.
Especially with that fucking energy. Like, he was wild.
Yeah. That's what I was like, dude, why aren't I fucking him up yet? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Because like, what are you gonna do? Talk him down from that? You don't know. He could be fucking amped up on something. Well, bro, and you're a cop, so you would know better than I would. But I'll just tell you from just like a dude that's never been a cop, somebody comes through the front door like that.
Fucking
good night,
done, dude.
Yeah.
In fact, and this is where I just talked about becoming mature and sitting in emotional control. There's still a part of me that wants to beat someone to death with a brick.
Of course,
that's still in me, right?
But I think you want that. I really truly mean that. I know this sounds fucking crazy and people are like, oh my God, what a psychopath. You know, Greg and JT, they must be fucking, lock them up. No, I actually believe that that's a healthy thing. Jordan Peterson, he was like, it's one thing to be dangerous. It's another thing to be dangerous and be able to hold that in control. Think about that. You have that, like, I still want to smack this motherfucker with a brick.
Yeah.
If you have that kind of energy and the capability, it's one thing to be real mouthy about that shit. It's another thing to have the propensity to know you could go there. And then the third layer of that is, and to be able to keep it in control.
Yeah.
That shit
100%,
is
dude.
fucking, that's what we really genuinely need. Like if you look at warrior societies of the past, and you know, you can point to all kinds, the Spartans, blah, 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 everybody. It was the ability to fuck somebody up, but know not to, and then still be gentle, you know, be able to nurture a child, be able to raise crops, be able to, love your woman and not be like a, knuckle dragger pulling her by her hair, dragging her behind you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
There's nothing fucking wrong with you going, I'd smash that fucking brick over that fucking, you know, like, I think it's fucking awesome, dude.
Well, and here's the thing. If you don't have that in you, then you're not capable of defending your family.
No.
That's just a reality.
Because at some point, the elevator doesn't go there.
Yeah. Do you know who Evan Hafer is?
Yes.
Founder of Black Rifle. I did his podcast a couple years ago, and he gave me a big French press as a gift. And then I was listening to him on Rogan a couple months later, and somehow French presses came up. He goes, I fucking hate French presses. Like, I hate them. It's my pet peeve. Like, whatever. He went on this fucking diatribe of how he hates French press. I texted him. I said, bro, you're talking about how much you hate French press, and then you gave me one as a gift. And he goes, bro, it wasn't to make coffee. I hope you beat an intruder to death with that thing one day. And so I told Jenny, I said, I know this is, we're kind of joking back and forth. I said, but if the opportunity presents itself, I might beat an intruder to death with a Black Rifle coffee mug.
Just seriously, just so you could have the story.
Because here's the thing, man. You come into my house at night, I don't have any emotional, I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about your safety. And I also don't care about the outcome. Because you chose that. Yeah. I mean, you've heard the story about the guy trying to break into my house 2 a.m?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a perfect example. He was drunk and he was at the wrong house. And that could have got him killed. And luckily, I just choked him out, and the cops came, and that was it. My favorite part of that story is the cop said, do you want to press charges or have a restraining order filed? I said, I'm not a faggot, dude.
Yeah.
He came to my house being a fool. He got choked out.
Yeah.
You think I want to do paperwork now? And if he wants to come back, he can come back tomorrow night. And they laughed. They're like, oh, okay, right? Like, well, press charges. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
But had he made it through my front door and got killed that night, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I would want to kill a drunk person going into the wrong house. I'm not bloodthirsty, right?
Yeah.
I also wouldn't be losing sleep over it.
Exactly.
Because you made a bunch of bad choices that put yourself in my house at 2 a.m. that caused a deadly encounter. And that was all of your choices, period. Because the second I start thinking about all the different what ifs, I'm not focused on protecting my family.
That's right.
You know? And so I'm glad that I was able to just choke him out and call it a night. But at the same time, like, it wouldn't, well, bro, the most fucked up thing about that, I was on a little break from Ramadi.
Oh, shit.
This was 05, bro. And I was just home on break for a couple weeks.
Oh.
And it's like, dude, you got no idea what the fuck is like who I am right now.
Like what's
I was only a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, right?
Oh,
but
man.
I was like, just got back from Ramadi. Like, dude, putting you in the long dirt nap wouldn't even, I'd go right back to bed.
Yeah, exactly. Like I just did this last week or this morning.
Let's talk about jiu-jitsu for a little bit, and then I want to dive into your life story because you got an interesting one. And that's actually, we followed each other on social media for, I don't know, a couple of years, I feel like now, right? And talked back and forth a couple times. And you'd mentioned wanting to come and train jiu-jitsu. and dude, I got you with that post.
Yeah, you did.
I said, hey, my jiu-jitsu academy is almost full. We're at like 300 members, and we're going to be shutting down membership pretty soon. And it wasn't this sales ploy to try and get more members. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
You see how the mats are on Monday and Wednesday night. We're right at capacity. And I don't know if you just came in or if you got a hold of me, but your message or what we said was like, man, I've been kicking around this idea of joining your team for a long time. And now that I know that it may be off the table, fuck that, I'm here, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm all in.
Yeah.
Because I think, I say this to a lot of guys. I think we had this conversation, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm like, hey, just train for, a week and then make the decision. You just said, no, I'm in.
Yeah. I don't
Sign
need
me
the
up,
free trial.
Sign me up now.
Yeah. I'm like, do you want me to pay for a full year? Like, I don't fucking care. Like,
this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And then you showed up. And we have our 101 upstairs with Mark. I run class downstairs. But every night you come downstairs at the conclusion of 101, and then you jump in with the regular class, that's how I had envisioned it working, right? Then we all bow out as a team together. There's some people that aren't ready to roll. They leave a little early. That's their journey though, right? But in a matter of a couple months, I already had a handful of people come up to me and they're like, dude, JT is one of us.
Nice.
He's fucking like, he brings good energy. He tries hard. He's enjoying the process. He's cool as fuck. And just watching you train, like I saw you and Anthony got the last round, an extra round.
Yes.
Was that Friday night?
Yes.
Yeah, Mark was basically coaching you through a roll with Anthony.
Yes.
And Anthony was fucking throttling pretty hard, dude.
Yeah.
And everybody, when we get a new teammate, and this is my favorite part of jiu-jitsu, bro. You get a lot of people come through the doors, and the majority of these people that want to do this are cool people. But every time a new person joins that brings value, that is like motivated to be here, that's just a solid motherfucker, someone that you know you could count on, jiu-jitsu shows that to each other about who we are as men. And that's again why you're like, dude, everyone should have to do jiu-jitsu for 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's not about like, if you and I roll, it's not about who wins, who loses. Oh, Greg's been doing it longer, so he's better and this. It's none of that. It's like, dude, as men, we get to just have an understanding of who each other is. What's up? What are we about?
Yeah.
How do we feel?
Yeah.
And that is like calming.
Yes.
And it's like,
It's
okay.
funny you put it that way.
Yeah, it is. It's like, okay, now there's not the dick swinging, the posturing. Nobody walks through that door and is like, and I'm as guilty as this anywhere. In the airport, I'm always looking around like, who's around me? What are you about? What's up, right? You're sometimes making little alliances. You ever do that at the airport?
Yes.
Another dude on the plane
All the
is
time.
fit, and I'll look at him, and he'll look at me, and I'll go like,
Yep.
and there's just a little understanding, like, all right, there's some other meat eaters around here.
Yep.
Let's figure out who they are. What's up? There is a time and a place for that. And in public, I think it's necessary sometimes. Here, we don't have to do that because we figure out what's up every 6 minutes.
Literally.
And it feels good. And now at the end of practice, it's like, hey, this guy kicked my ass tonight. I kicked this guy's ass. Everybody has that same experience. And then you got guys like Daniel that are top of the food chain. Me and Mark are usually winning because we've been doing this a long time. None of that matters. What matters is we're all here getting better together. And because we are, now we don't have to pretend anything, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Name a place where 40 athletic men can come together and not have dick measuring contests.
I can't.
You can't, except here, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucking awesome.
You know, it's
and
funny.
You joined, and you're 55 years old, bro. Starting jiu-jitsu at 55, respect.
What are you thinking?
Respect, bro. Because I started at 20. And jiu-jitsu was hard at 20, and I'm 45, and it's still hard. But at least I got, as a 12-year black belt now, I have the capacity to dictate the op tempo, basically.
Yeah.
And if some young stud like Eli wants to just scramble for 6 minutes, I have the ability to slow him down. You're jumping right into the fire with these kids,
Yeah,
dude.
man. Yeah, it's a very eye-opening thing, and it's cool. So I appreciate what you were saying, and I'm honored that other people had, said those things. I found out about you, man, I can't remember. It was shortly after your video went viral, the one you shot from your police cruiser. And I, for the life of me, feel like I heard it before Andy Frisella, but Andy had mentioned it. He hadn't had you on his show
Andy
yet.
Stump had me on, and that was like what made it go viral in like the GWAT veteran community.
Okay, got you.
So that might have been it.
That might have been it. And I was like, holy shit. And then it was like Port of Seattle. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. So somebody here in Washington State isn't crazy. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm like,
Yeah.
fucking everybody around here. And then, did the math, and he's in Lake Stevens. I'm like, fuck, dude, Lake Stevens isn't that far away. I'm in Mukilteo. And he's got a jiu-jitsu academy. I'm like, roger that. And at that point, I had already been thinking, I really want to do jiu-jitsu. There's one local to us, but it wasn't quite the same vibe. It was a little bit more, and I don't mean this with disrespect.
Bro,
It just,
no.
It wasn't
There
the
is
same.
no disrespect. I tell people all the time, even people that come through this door, they'll be like, well, I get this question a lot. I still think it's kind of weird, but I honor it. They're like, well, like Cascade Jiu-Jitsu is real close to my house too. Do you know, are they a good academy? And I'll be like, I love those guys. If that's more convenient for you, that might be a better fit. But the only way you can know is go check them out.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be in competition with them all.
Yeah. Well, I can ride my bike to the one jiu-jitsu academy that's in town. And I've met the guy. He's a nice guy. In fact, his son wrestled with my son in high school. And I think he was a year ahead of my son, and cool family.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong. It wasn't the same vibe. And so for a long time, I kept pushing off. My wife's like, yeah, like, she wanted me to do it, but she my wife cares, but it's funny. We have this like running joke in our family. She lacks empathy. One time I was making dinner and I sliced my thumb and I was bleeding like crazy. And she's watching TV or doing something. She's preoccupied and I'm upstairs and I like call down. I'm like, hey babe, can you come here for a second? I just say it calm. And she comes upstairs and it looks like a fucking horror movie. There's just blood fucking everywhere. She's like, what the fuck? And so I'm like, I just need you to hold my, like, so I can tape it.
Yeah.
And it was just gushing blood. She goes, do you need to go to the hospital? I'm like, I think I'll be all right. And probably I should have. It eventually stopped bleeding. But she's just like so pissed. She's like, well, is dinner going to be late? And it's her defense mechanism. Like, it's not that she doesn't care. It's just that it's like her defense mechanism for fear. Mm-hmm. So if I was on the row thing, she would be all for it, but she would be just like, like if I came home tired or sore, she'd be like, well, I guess you better fucking suck it up. Mm-hmm. Like she's not going to, there's no softness when it comes to that kind of thing. Right. So when it came to jujitsu, she's just like, she had this like, I think kind of a defense mechanism to it, like, yeah, I think you should start, but like, let's just wait until this, or this. There was always some fucking thing, we're traveling or this. The other thing was guns and gis. Without fail, every time there was a guns and gis, I was out of town on business. Every single time. Like, this fucking is bullshit.
I'm planning around your schedule.
Yeah, it was like Greg's magically looking at my work schedule.
Your wife is sending me your work schedule
exactly.
So you can't attend.
I was kind of like, what the fuck? So finally, when your post came out, I'm like, here's the thing. I'm going on Monday. Well, first of all, you said, hey, we're closing this down. And I'm like, I will get in my car right fucking now. Like I was in the process of making dinner or something like it was. I'm like, I will leave my house. You're like, I'm like, I'll come tomorrow. And you're like, and I think it was like a Thursday. You're like, yeah, it's a bunch of fucking silverback gorillas, bro. I don't think you want to
Thursday is wrestling with Jordan.
Yeah. I'm like, you don't want that. Come on Monday. I'm like, okay, so long as it's open on Monday, because I don't want to lose this window. And so that's what kicked the whole thing off. And my whole thing was, I'm not stopping. Like, this isn't like a test run. I'm not going to do it for a month or two. I'm seeing this through until either I die or
I tie a black belt around your waist.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
And so
and then you're really just starting then.
And then you're just starting. It's funny because that's the same thing with when you get your wings as a pilot. They're like, the Commodore pinned my wings on my chest and he's like, this is a license to learn.
Yeah.
You think you're a fucking badass because you made it through flight school, but you don't know shit, which I found out. But it's funny because with jiu-jitsu, what happened Friday night with Anthony was exactly what I signed up for. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason I didn't go with the local guys. And again, I want to be clear. I'm not disrespecting the local jiu-jitsu camp. I'm sure they're great. But what I saw from you personally and just what I'd learned through your posts, through your messaging, through listening to this podcast, just through like stuff, I'm like, this dude right here is, I like cosmically,
we're in alignment.
I have to be in his fucking academy.
Yeah.
And I also was in a really, how do I say this? Like a part of my life where I was like, I work from home. I run my own business from home. And everything I do is basically inside the walls of my house.
Yeah.
And then I go to the grocery store and I'm around fucking weirdos. And it's like, outside of that, dude, I don't have community unless I fly somewhere. If I get in an airplane, I'm with my homies. And I don't have a huge circle. And I'm not trying to say on this like, oh, you poor thing. I was just like,
reality of a lot of men.
Fucking reality.
Especially military men.
Exactly.
Because our circle that we are part of, when we're part of this elite unit, is built from men all over the country. And when you walk away from that, they all go back to wherever they're at in the country.
Yep.
And that there is a part, I got friends in North Carolina and all over the place. But again, like, how often can you invest in nurturing that relationship? It's tough, man.
Yeah. So when you said, hey, we're closing this thing down, I'm like, I don't fucking care, dude. I'll walk to it every night if I have to. So, and the whole point was literally what happened Friday night with Anthony. It was the extra roll, like everybody was done. And right before that, one of the other white belts and I had been training, like we were just working on drills that Mark had trained us on.
Is it Dane?
Dane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dane and I are fucking getting after it. And Mark came over and Anthony was kind of watching the whole thing go down. And then we get done. And it was so funny because I was beat up and tired and the week had kind of taken its toll on me just professionally.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm going to jiu-jitsu, don't get me wrong, but I'm probably just going to do a couple rounds. I might leave early, but I'm not going. And the only thing is I have 2 rules. One, well, don't quit, but that's never been on the table. One is learn something, and 2 is bring your best, because I don't care who it is. I'm the oldest guy here, probably outside of Mark, but student wise, I'm the oldest guy here and the newest guy, the least skilled, right? So quite literally everybody is a little more advanced than me, and that's fine with me. But motherfucker, I'm going to bring everything I know to bring, because I'm fortunate to be here. I'm grateful to be here. And if I'm going to roll with Anthony or Annie or Dane, it doesn't fucking matter. They deserve me to not be a soft ass bitch. Like, I've got to bring all I can. Now, my skill is going to obviously be
it's going to dictate that for sure.
But what I'm not going to do is just flop and be a dead animal.
Yeah.
Now, total transparency, my conditioning is getting better. There are times where I'm so gassed, I'm like, fuck. So it's just like,
yeah, but bro, if you're so gassed that you can't exert much more, you know what that means? That means you gave everything.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So my point is that, like, it's a win for me. Like, I've accomplished what I came to accomplish in sense of finally finding a group of people, men that I can fucking look to and go, this is a fucking dude, man. These are guys, people I can count on, people I will be there for, contribute to no matter what. And that's, I think, for me, outside of like, oh, what's the other reason for humanity or society fucking going through jiu-jitsu, is to learn respect. For me, personally, it was community.
Yeah.
All the other stuff, the ability to defend myself, defend my family, progress through the belt ranks, that's great. Don't get me wrong. I'm very competitive. I want that stuff too. But the victory has already been made.
Yeah.
Every fucking day I show up here is literally like, I'm like, I have to give back because I've gotten so much. You know what I mean?
Well, and bro, a big part of, not a big part that I chose to leave on this row, but a part of the row that has become an understanding is I built this place literally from the ground up.
Yeah.
Me and Jenny lived in that little house.
Right there?
Right there.
Shit.
This was our lot. We lived in that little house on 3 acres. And it became a goal of ours to build a fitness community. And we opened up with CrossFit first, and then we added jiu-jitsu, and then it expanded. And I'm not delusional. I obviously understand, like, my vibe, my energy, like how I carry myself. That was the foundation of the team. But it's grown into its own entity now. And I am not the person. I shouldn't say I'm not steering the ship. Obviously, it's my facility. I'm the head coach. Like, I have the ability to steer the ship still. But I also feel like it's on fucking autopilot because we got 100 solid dudes that are steering the ship together.
Yep.
And it's no longer about me. It's about everybody. And I think when I step away, there's going to be a great opportunity for the team to show what this place is it's not any one person. It's the people that decided to show up. And bro, we could just go down the list of people that are here. I honestly think I could probably pick from 20 different people to take the reins while I'm away. And I don't think it would detract from what this place is.
I agree with you.
You could have Drew and Eli, who are purple belts, good savage purple belts. But more importantly than being good at jiu-jitsu, they carry themselves with honor and respect. They're fun to be around. They walk a moral compass, a trajectory that is fucking like very admirable. Hey, Eli, I need you to run the academy for me. He'd probably be like, fuck, dude, like, fuck. But when he stepped up, it would be good.
Yep.
Or Jake. Or like really any purple belt or above, I feel is like capable of teaching the lessons. But more important than the lessons is just how the men and women in this place carry themselves.
Yeah.
And as long as that energy gets perpetuated, this place continues.
But here's the thing. I agree with everything you said. The only thing I would add to that is it's because of who you are. It's because of like people come. I can't tell you how many times there's Brian's a blue belt that comes to mind. We were talking when I first got here, and he's like, "Oh, is this like?" It was like my first or second day when I met him, and I'm like, he's like, "How long you been coming?" I'm like, "It's like my first or second day." He's like, "Oh yeah, man." He's like, "I first got here because I heard Greg's podcast and I had to be around Greg." That's what he told me, and I'm like, "Fucking same here, man." And so, yes, you're right. I think there's probably, of all the people here, it's taken on its own life, its own identity, and its own energy. But that life, energy, and identity was because of you. And it's because of what you've created, your leadership and your influence and I mean that in the best possible way.
Yeah,
influence is a good thing.
No, I appreciate that.
You know what I mean?
But also it's like, not only is it like, oh, look what Greg's doing, I want to go be around Greg, right? It's like, oh, that guy thinks like I think.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And in today's world, men thinking like us, and I feel like the trajectory is shifting now.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time in like the 2020 era where men that just wanted to carry themselves as men, it's like we were almost the enemy.
Exactly.
There's something wrong with you if you want to be a strong, capable, athletic, formidable male.
Mm-hmm.
Toxic masculinity. Remember, they even started to go after fitness.
Yeah.
Guys that are fit.
Gym bros.
Yeah, they start to become right-wing extremists.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you guys have never spent an hour on the mats with my team because we are extremists if we need to be. Mm-hmm. And we will put our body armor on and fucking raid your house if we have to.
Yeah.
That's not what we're talking about here. We're having fun. We're empowering each other. We're getting capable. Like, and when other men are like, oh, there's a place where I can go do that. Like, that dude thinks like I think. Let's go see what's up with it.
Yeah.
Then they show up and there's 20 other guys that are like, oh, I didn't know this existed. Mm-hmm. And then you're all in. It's fucking rad, dude.
Dude, you mentioned the 2020 thing. That to me was the most, I went through a really fucking hard time, from 2020, like mid 2020 through 2022, where I was going to the gym every fucking day, lifting every day. I was in very good shape. And then got to the gym one day. In fact, I remember I'm going for my deadlift max today. And I get there and there's a fucking thing. Gym's closed due to government, Governor Inslee's fucking directive or whatever. I'm like, God, dude. So how long is it going to be closed? Oh, 2 weeks. That's it. Well, fucking 3 and 4 weeks go on. The thing's still closed. And so I told my wife, I'm like, I can't do this. And I had been talking about building my own gym anyway. Mm-hmm. So we start ordering shit and the supply chain was all fucked. So I'm like getting pieces.
Yeah, gym equipment was like gold.
Dude, seriously, man. Like if I had $1,000 worth of cocaine and $1,000 worth of fucking gym gear, there would be a disparity. Like I couldn't give the cocaine away, the fucking gym gear, you know what I mean? So it was like crazy. Anyway, long story fucking endless. I finally ended up building this thing. And my brother asked me, he came to visit, for my 50th birthday, I think. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I have my gym. He goes, how much does this all cost? I'm like, the gym equipment or the shipping? Because I spent more on shipping because I couldn't just order it all at once.
Yeah.
By contrast, she's kind of like my right hand at work for my business. She built a home gym, she and her husband, and they got free shipping. They bought all this shit all at once. I'm like, babe, what you spent on your gym equipment, you and your husband, I literally spent in shipping maybe 1.5x.
Yeah.
Easily. And just because that's how the things work. My point though is like working out, staying fit. There was a point where I was literally, I couldn't take it anymore because I was seeing friends that I loved, the guys some even guys I served with, family members of mine that were so polarized in an opposite way of my thinking that we got so like fucked up as a country and as a society throughout that whole thing that I'm working out one day and I'm like, just the act of doing this, if I post about me working out, I will get vitriol from people just because I'm lifting fucking weights. And I was like, so it hit me one day. I'm like, I felt so shitty. I was in such a dark place. I'm like, what if every single fucking human being turned their back on me? Because I had close friends that were like, fuck you, you're fucked up. You're not, you're not getting the jab. You're a fucking heathen.
You're going to kill grandmas.
You're going to kill grandmas, go to the grocery store and I'm not wearing a mask, and just negativity and this fucking shit from people. I'm like, so I'm in the gym one day and I'm like, literally, I'm like emotional about it. I'm like, fuck the whole fucking world. What if every single human being on the planet turned their back on me? And then I had this moment of clarity. I'd be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'd figure it out. Now, would it be ideal? Of course not.
Yeah, is it going to feel great? Probably not.
But I had this fucking moment, Greg, where I shit you not. It was like a moment of peace. It's the best word I can come with. I was like, I'm going to be okay. And then I started, think of it like a bullseye, like a target. I started going, okay, I'm the bullseye. What's the fucking ring right outside of that? My wife and kids. Would they really turn their back on me? Of course not, because they think they're aligned with me. My two really close friends are definitely aligned with me. They wouldn't turn their back on me. And I started building this like thing. And then all of a sudden I started to realize, what the fuck am I worried about anymore?
Yeah.
So this fucking standing on the circles 6 feet apart, walking grocery store, they had the fucking one way. I started going the opposite direction.
Me too, just hoping.
I'm like, fucking bring it on, dude. And then hearing you and Andy Frisella, Andy Stumpf, there was another guy that I was listening to at the time, but I was reading his newsletter and they were just like, fuck this shit, dude. And I'm like, yeah, fuck this. Cause when it first happened, I was like, yeah, and maybe this shit's dangerous.
Maybe it's real.
Maybe it's fucking real. And then all of a sudden I started to realize all the shit that they're fucking making out to be evil are the things that I feel naturally aligned with: fitness, strength, sovereignty, the ability to fucking stand on your own 2 feet, not give a fuck. And especially when these morons in fucking Olympia started going nuts and it's only gotten worse, I started going, if I don't find some fucking people to align with, I don't know that I'm capable of doing a one-man fucking army, but I will fucking die on my feet.
Well, bro, there's I'll try and find it after the show, because it was a post I made in 2020. And I was sitting at the bottom of the stairs, right? And everyone has to shut their gym down 2 weeks to flatten the curve. And just like you said, all right, well, if they're asking every business to close, it must be serious.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to close down for 2 weeks. And bro, like, it's the first time we went through that level of control and like things being dictated. Mm-hmm. But because I think most of us thought, like, we know the government's dysfunctional. I always knew the government was dysfunctional, but I didn't know that it had elements of it in it that were just pure evil. Evil.
Yeah.
Right? Fauci, hindsight's 2020. I have the receipts saying the shit about him fucking 6 years ago. And he did fucking fund it, gain of function research in a lab that fucking made half the world sick.
Yep.
He did that.
And ruined the fucking economy.
And ruined, that's what and fucked so many entrepreneurs' lives up, right?
Yep.
And of course, there's no accountability still.
Yeah.
But when I started seeing, like, and it didn't take very long. After the 2 weeks, I was like, all right, I'm going to make a post. And I'm sitting at the bottom of the stairs and I said, hey, this is the deal. I'm not going to put a close sign on the front door and ask people to sneak in the back and carpool here so you can't see cars in the park. Like, no, I'm not playing any of that shit. My gym is opening back up Monday. And if you don't fucking like it, show up and fucking do something about it.
Yep.
And I will be here with my AR-15 and my body armor. and bro, like, do I want to shoot a 24-year-old Snohomish County deputy because he's here telling me that I can't have my business open? Of course I don't want to. You know how many cops train here. I was a cop too. Like, I am not an anti-law enforcement person, but I am anti you being an arm for a government that is acting tyrannical. And if you come here and think you're going to take me out of here in cuffs, I promise you it's not going to happen.
Right.
And not because I want to hurt someone, because, bro, we fought in the wars for years because someone said, that's the enemy, go confront them on the field of battle. Yes, sir, and went and did it. If you're willing to fight for that, but you're not willing to fight for your own business, this is how I feed my children.
Yeah.
And you tell me I can't have it anymore, well, come and fucking take it from me.
That's right.
And through the grapevine, I heard that Sheriff Adam Fortney said, like, we're not going to fucking go after him. And every time I say that, I like to make this caveat is that Fortney didn't say that because he was afraid of me. I don't want to confront Greg. He didn't want to do that because he knew he's not going to be part of the rights violating.
Yep.
You know? And I think about it to this day, there's a good chance I'm alive because we had a sheriff that didn't decide to do what we saw happening all over the country. Because, bro, I told my wife, I won't get drug out of there in handcuffs. Right. In fact, the guys that come and try and handcuff me, they're going to be fucking put in handcuffs and thrown out into the fucking parking lot. I also know what that means, though. That means the SWAT team's going to surround your facility.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
100%.
And I know half those guys, so it would have got weird.
But here's the thing is, like, you saying that does not, there's zero doubt.
Yeah.
There's, like, to me, that's not and it's not even like a threat. It's just us, like, and this is what I think we need more of, is people that are willing to be. So I've got something I call the foundational four, the big four: your values, your vision, your mission, and a sense of purpose. Those are the things, like, when I train leadership training and things like this, that's one of the core messages that I talk about. If you just start with your values, you know, and you can talk about them as core values or whatever. I'll ask people, what are your values? And it's funny to watch people kind of, what do you mean? I'm like, just what comes to mind? Once they answer it, what do you think is one of the first things they say?
I would imagine a lot of people probably don't have a lot of clarity on it.
They don't. So one thing that but once you kind of coach them through a little bit, the first thing they'll say is integrity. Okay, awesome. Do you think you have integrity? Of course I do. Okay, fantastic. What's the second one? Almost without hesitation. Number 2 will be freedom. I find that very interesting. So let me ask you this. How did you behave between 2020 and 2023? Were you one of those fucking people? Because that means that you really don't appeal to your freedom, nor do you appeal to your integrity to your fucking self. Because when you said that, there was no question. Like, I don't doubt that there'd be some fucking body bag necessary here.
And I would be in one of them.
Probably,
you
right?
know?
And that's not like some tough guy talk. And this is the fucking problem. Like, we were talking about, like, toxic masculinity. No, the ability for somebody to be fucking clear on their values and to stand to the point where you're like, I'll die on my fucking feet, motherfucker, for this. That is not toxic masculinity. That's strength through clarity of who you are as a human being.
Exactly, dude.
And living in, like, that's a strength of character. When you live in accordance with your values, you have a vision for how you want to live your life, not just what you want to attain, what you want to achieve. Yeah, it's cool. You have a fucking boat, you have a house, you have a car, you have, you know, your business. That's fucking amazing, but it's how you live. You could have easily said, well, hey guys, you know, the fucking governor said, and so therefore, no, you're like, you know what? We're fucking staying open. That's the reason, Greg, that you've got 100 and 200 people that come here and they feel like this is home.
Yeah.
They feel connected. They feel aligned. It doesn't matter what their fucking political views are. It doesn't matter what their taste in music is. It doesn't matter any of that shit. They don't have to be, you know, thrash metal fans that love fucking Pantera and Black Label. I mean,
although it's bonus points if they do.
Yeah. Obviously, you know, a higher level of intelligence is evident. No offense to the country music fans in the house, but it's like, you know, you can be your own person here.
Yeah.
But because of the values, the vision, and then there's a sense of mission. And my attitude towards mission is the reason I don't believe, or I don't subscribe to goal setting as it's, you know, like prescribed, SMART goals, you know, all this shit. I didn't have a goal of becoming a Navy pilot. It was a fucking mission because literally the whole world told me I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. And it wasn't a fuck you, I'm going to show you. It was because I wanted it so fucking bad. And I couldn't fucking turn it off. It was very similar to your journey across the ocean.
Yeah, you had a calling.
It's a fucking calling. So you guys aren't going to fail. Like, you're probably going to have plenty of adversity. But you're not like, well, I hope it's a smooth sail. I heard you say, I hope it gets shitty, dude. I hope it sucks.
Well, it's not even that I necessarily hope it sucks. I'm just sitting in reality.
Yeah.
And also, if what's the saying go that, like, calm seas don't make for good sailors or something like that, right? Like, if I row all the way to Hawaii and it's just glass the whole time, don't get me wrong, I'll be like, oh, that was fucking radical, right?
Yeah.
but it's not going to be the same journey as if it's arduous as fuck, right?
Oh, yeah.
Something that I saw a lot during 2020 was men that wanted to pretend to stand on fucking business. Mm-hmm. But then when they got pushed, it's like, well, dude, I got kids, man.
Yeah.
Oh, my mom this, right? You think William Wallace cared about that his mom might think he could get potentially hurt if he led the fucking revolution?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and don't get me wrong, it would be sad for my mom if I got killed by the fucking sheriff's office.
Yeah.
It would be sad for my daughters. But if we all just take the back seat because something bad might happen, we're literally just handing our sovereignty over to them. Mm-hmm. And that's what they fucking want, dude.
Exactly.
And when you know they can't take it, they can't fucking take it. They can kill me.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, look at the enemies we fought. If we haven't learned anything from fucking the Vietnamese, from the Afghans, from what we'll probably learn from the Iranians, you can kill my body, but you can't kill my ideology.
1,000%, dude.
When you can't kill someone's ideology, they are as formidable as an enemy can be, because it's like, all right, we can go there and we can try and confront them, but you're confronting me based on policy, based on what your commander said, based on what's being disseminated at the fucking at your office. I'm doing what I'm doing because it's my fucking life, and it's my children at stake.
Yeah.
And bro, I would rather. And don't get me wrong, I hope I live a long, fruitful life and get to be a grandparent and shit like that. But if I roll over and my children see me do that, to me, that's worse than death.
100%. And it's almost a guarantee you won't grow to be an old grandfather.
That's right. That's how you end up in the fucking gulag.
Exactly.
All right, bro. I knew you'd be a good podcast. But I'm going to tell you right now, you're probably going to be a regular.
Dude.
If you're down, dude.
You name the time and place.
Because it's fun. But I want to highlight you.
Okay.
I want to hear about your journey into the Navy, becoming a pilot, flying combat missions, what that path looked like. Mm-hmm. And then before we wrap it up, I would love to hear your perspective of what our military is going through today.
Okay. I'll do my best on that one. Yeah, so I wanted to be a pilot as long as I could remember. I'm supremely blessed. My granddads, both of them. My dad's dad was a B-17 pilot in World War II. In fact, if you look up Phantom Fortress, he's kind of famous because they got shot up by the Luftwaffe and had to bail out. And he trimmed the aircraft and then set the autopilot and then called for a bailout. And his whole crew bailed out, and they got spread all over Belgium because they, just the aircraft. Of course. He was the last one out. And I remember him telling me the story. And basically the aircraft runs out of gas and glides into a field. All these fucking Nazis descend on it, and there's nobody in there. And it sort of became like this spooky, like, what the fuck, So the Nazis were kind of freaked out. Anyway, if you look up Phantom Fortress, you'll find all kinds of stories. There's a podcast called The Y-Files, and a guy did a whole episode on it, and he references Lieutenant DeBolt. That's my granddad.
Wow.
So that's my dad's side of the family. My mom's side of the family, my grandpa was a chief petty officer in the U.S. Navy. He was on Pearl Harbor when it got attacked. He was literally on duty. He had just started his duty that morning, and, famously, like, heard all this noise. He's like, what the fuck? And then ran outside, and he was part of the whole thing. So he's a Pearl Harbor survivor. So I had that kind of blood coursing through my veins, the desire to join the Navy, desire to fly, especially for my granddad, because I was really close to my grandpa, Gene, or Grandpa Hal, rather, the pilot. My grandpa Gene I was close to as well, but by virtue of geography, I was having to spend more time with my Grandpa Hal. And looked up to him. He was just larger than life. He was a man's man. Like, when he took my brother and I to Boeing here in Seattle. We were little. I think I was like 12. My brother was like 9, for an anniversary of his bomber group. And they flew a bunch of B-17s. And when we walked in there, man, these old dudes were like, how? When we walked in, they're like, your granddad was a fucking hero. And they're like, 2 or 3 deep into their fucking bourbon and shit. Tell me stories. He's like, guys, it's not true. And he's like, don't listen to him, kid. Very, like, sort of, trying to push off his heroism, but it was clear that he was a man's man. He led the crew, led, bomb groups, strikes into, deep into Germany and shit like that. So I had that dream, but I was diagnosed real early. So my parents split when I was 6. And from the time I went from kindergarten to 3rd grade, I had jumped schools 6 different times. So I never really had friends, got bullied a lot, and somehow in that process got diagnosed with ADD. Now, back then, they didn't know what ADD was. You know what I mean? So I remember literally my dad remarried when I was 8, and my stepmom was fucking amazing. She was literally one of my heroes. So I talk about my grandpa Hal, the B-17 pilot. My stepmom Pam was right there. Like, it's one of my heroes. Saved my life easily.
Dude, how rad is that?
Yeah.
You never hear like, my parents got divorced and then my step parent, there's always darkness attached to that. You're
Exactly.
like, she was fucking rad.
She was fucking rad. Unfortunately, so she got breast cancer back in 2021, beat it down 3 times, and then eventually it came back super aggressive. And it was right when I got back off my deployment. So I'm getting off track a little bit, but basically, growing up, I had wanted to be a pilot, Blue Angels. My grandpa, the Pearl Harbor survivor, he took me to an air show and the Blue Angels were there. And it was loud and just fucking fast. And I was like, whoa. So I was real little and I always wanted to do that. My brother and I used to ride our bikes down the street in formation and it was fucking crazy. So that's what I wanted to do. But I sucked at school, couldn't pay attention, couldn't hold still. I was always tapping my pens and pencils and shit like that and always in trouble. And so the adults in my life were like, there's no way, man. Like, and famously, and I love my dad. I don't mean this as we had a really rough, my childhood with my dad was not great. Just did not, we were like cracking heads the whole way. Not very emotionally available. And it was, hey, I want to be a pilot. And I remember him saying, I think you should just go down to, we lived in Boise, Idaho. You should just go to Boise State, check into the Vodtech school, because you'll probably just become a diesel mechanic at best.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, thanks, Dad.
Fuck, dude.
And I don't mean this like, I say that now, and I love my dad. My dad's alive. So I always say that with a little bit of trepidation. Not that I think he's going to hear the podcast, but I don't want it to come off like I hate my dad or my dad's bad. It was actually, in hindsight, probably, I used it as leverage. But I lived like a fucking walking razor blade after I graduated high school. I was just like, don't get close to me. Don't fucking talk to me. And my homies and I would fucking rage. We'd party so hard. Like, it's like being junior enlisted. Like there wasn't a beer can that wouldn't survive, a bottle of whiskey we couldn't fucking kill. But it was just, like so much fucking rage growing up. My football coach in high school was like, what are you doing after high school? Because he knew I wasn't going to go to college. And I was a good athlete, a decent football player, but I wasn't good enough to get into college on that merit alone. I could have walked on, but I wasn't getting recruited. I'm like, hey, I'm going to join the Navy and be a pilot. He goes, they wouldn't let you fly a kite. And so I had all this shit going on, Greg, and in the back of my head, I'm like, fuck you guys. So after high school, I barely graduated. I joined the Navy and went.
What year was this?
This would have been 89.
Okay.
So I graduated, I think it was like June 19th, 1989 from San Diego. They didn't even have boot camp in San Diego anymore. Immediately got sent to, actually tried out for the SEALs in boot camp. Didn't make it. I could do everything. I swam, did all the pull-ups, all the bullshit, but I couldn't run fast enough. And I was like 5 seconds late on the minimum. And the SEAL dude goes, yeah, you didn't make it. I'm like, well, how far off was I? It was like 5 seconds. And I remember saying to him, I remember literally saying, bald head and everything, I'm like, you can't just give me 5 seconds. He goes, son, if a fucking helicopter's fucking dusting off waiting 5 seconds for you, you're going to kill the whole platoon. Get the fuck out of here.
And bro, isn't that kind of nice?
Yeah.
This is the standard?
Yes.
You didn't make it. Sorry. And bro, I love that you said, hey, this was a standard and I didn't make it. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Because you never hear, anytime someone didn't make Rangers or didn't make SEALs, it's always, well, the blah, blah, the.
I pulled a hamstring.
It's always some story.
Yeah.
And you're like, my run time didn't meet the threshold.
No. They had us running in dungarees,
That's life sometimes, bro.
bell-bottom jeans. The Navy they don't have them anymore. But you like imagine, when I say bell-bottoms, most people, you got to look up a picture. But that fucking Navy, that used to be their standard uniform. So we're running in boots, like full combat boots, and these dungaree pants. Like I know, and I was 5 seconds too slow. It's like, well, if you'd have let me run in shorts. But that's not what the fucking thing was, dude. The test was run in boots and utes, as they called it back in the day. And you didn't make it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, can I have another shot? Yeah, you can try again in 6 months, but this was your one shot. So went to Millington, Tennessee to learn how to turn wrenches on jets. My ASVAB score was okay. It was above average, but it wasn't great. I wasn't going to nuke school, and I didn't want to.
But I thought you had ADD. How could you be an intelligent person?
Exactly. Exactly. So I joined, I went to school, learned how to be an aircraft mechanic, which was ironic because you remember what my dad said, best you could do is, be a decent mechanic. I'm like, well, and the Navy was like, yeah, at least you'll be around Navy pilots, which by the way, was fucking awesome because I did 2 deployments on the USS Ranger, doesn't even exist anymore, launching jets off the carrier, but I was around pilots. And in that 4-year enlistment tour, I applied 6 different times to go to to go to officer school. Because in the Navy, you got to be a full commissioned officer. So you got to go to college for 4 years and have a full commission, not a warrant commission.
Oh, they don't have the cheating warrant program like I went through.
Well, I don't know if it's cheating, but because
I think it's just the way to make good NCOs pilots.
Oh, is that what it is?
I think so, man.
Probably. But for us, you had to have you had to be a fully commissioned officer. So you had to go to 4 years of school.
Okay.
And like I said, I barely graduated high school. My ASVAB score was okay. My SAT scores were abysmal. So I got turned down all 6 times. And when the Navy says no, they're not like, hey, man, we really appreciate your hard work. Keep trying. They're like, nope, didn't cut it. Mm-hmm. Like, fuck. So I kept applying, and it was like every 6 months.
Was this to go to like a in the Army, they call it green to gold?
Yes.
Where you get to have a break in service.
Yep.
And then you get your education, and then you come back commissioned.
Right.
Okay.
So I applied to Naval Academy, which clearly I wasn't getting into. Then I applied to Naval Academy Prep School, which was for people like me that had shitty grades but potential. Mm-hmm. And usually when you had military service, and at that point I had a couple of years in, they could go, okay, he's proven that he can handle being in the military. He's, coachable, if you want to call it that. He's assimilated into the military lifestyle. He just didn't have the academics. If they do that, if you get accepted to Naval Academy Prep School, it's literally, I think it's a year. I can't remember how long it is, but it's basically like remedial. It's like they tutor the shit out of you so you can handle the academic rigors of the academy.
Okay.
Now, I'll be honest, I didn't really care about the academy. I just wanted to become an officer. It wasn't like, ooh, the academy. A lot of guys,
you're just finding a path to becoming a pilot.
That's
sounds
it.
Like. Mm-hmm.
Applied to officer candidate school, and then I applied to ROTC. So all said, applied to those different things. It was 6 different applications. All 6 times I got denied by the U.S. Navy. So growing up, teachers, coaches, friends, close family members are like, you're never going to make it. Now the U.S. Navy's like, nope, you're never going to make it. So 1993, my enlistment is up. I get out. I go to work as, a fucking dishwasher in one restaurant and a busboy in another one. 7 days a week, my brother and I we live in this shitty little apartment together. It was fucking awesome. Dude, It was just like, he had his room, I had my room. We'd party our asses off and then work. That's all we fucking did. And
you're what, 22?
I'm like 22.
Okay.
Yeah. I go back, I moved to California and go to I got a job working construction. This was literally, we used to dig ditches. I shit you not. We would put in these things called vapor extraction units at Arco gas stations. It was basically like a giant furnace, and they would sit to the side or behind the AM PM gas stations, right? And we would dig. You cut the pavement, the concrete around the gas pumps, and then they would use a backhoe and dig a trench. And then we would jump in, me and the other, laborers would just jump in and clear the dirt and lay the pipe down. And the whole point was this pipe would basically connect to this giant furnace and extract the gas vapors out of the dirt and burn it. That was the general idea as far as I remember. So I was doing that shit in South Central
Someone's
Los
listening
Angeles.
somewhere saying, that guy doesn't know the fuck that's not how that system worked at all.
You know it, dude. That's not what he's fucking idiot. No wonder he's fucking ADD. He's a fucking moron. I wouldn't let him fly airplanes either. I wouldn't let him fly a kite. So I did that. And then I had earned enough money, plus I had the GI Bill, that I went to community college, Riverside Community College, did decent, actually, academically, and got myself into University of Colorado at Boulder. So I got accepted to a big boy school. That in and of itself was a huge win. And most of the naysayers were like, okay, well, he got into school. I walk into the ROTC department and I'm like, hey, listen, I'm a 23-year-old freshman, which is old. 4 years of prior active service. I just want to be an officer. I want to go to flight school. What can I do?
And now you have leverage because you're not in the military anymore.
That's right.
Oh, if we want to get him back.
That's it.
Yeah.
So the lieutenant at the time, she was an aviator as well. She was the person in charge of the freshman class. And I told her this, and she's like, well, you can come in basically like as a walk-on on a sports team, but we don't have a scholarship, so you'd have to work your way and earn it. I'm like, okay, cool. Calm as shit, like ice water in my veins. But in my head, I'm like, I'm fucking broke. Because I spent all my money on my community college.
Oh, your GI Bill money?
Yeah, my GI Bill money.
Because back then it wasn't shit, huh?
It wasn't jack shit, dude.
Yeah.
So then I call my grandpa, the B-17 pilot. I'm like, hey, grandpa, here's what I'm up against. And I explained the whole thing to him. He goes, don't worry.
I got you.
I got you.
Ooh, I feel that, bro.
He goes, I'm going to give you some of your dad's inheritance. We'll just take it out of his inheritance.
Sorry, Dad.
Like, fuck. So that paid for my first semester at CU, the University of Colorado. Second semester starts. Now, I haven't paid for the second semester, but I had enough to buy my books, but that was it. So the money my grandpa gave me got me through that first semester. I'm out of state. I'm paying out of state tuition. It's fucking not cheap. About halfway through the semester, I keep badgering my ROTC advisor. I'm like, hey, is there any chance, we put you in for a scholarship. You did well academically. I can't promise anything, dude. They're really tight on scholarships right now. This was the Clinton era where they're downsizing the military, right? And I'm like, fuck, dude. So we go in, and every Thursday we had an assembly. And our commanding officer was a ship captain. Big, tall, he's like 6'4", white hair. He looks like a captain. So we all stand at attention. We're in this big assembly hall. Stand at attention. He fucking comes down and he goes, seats. We all sit down. And he goes, the following people stand up. Blah, 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 DeBolt. He says 3 names, and then I hear DeBolt. We snap to attention. And he goes, you, and you. The United States taxpayer is paying your way through college. Don't fuck it up. Seats.
Oh, dude.
I'm like, holy shit. So we were the only 4 guys that got scholarships. Everybody else that didn't get them, we're just kind of waiting. Mm-hmm. We get done with the assembly. I go running back over to the ROTC office. And he's sitting there like working on the shit. And I knock on the door. I'm like, Midshipman 4th Class DeBolt reporting, sir. And he's like, don't worry, DeBolt. They'll pay for it. I'm like, okay, because he knew the question. I'm like, because the bill was due like now.
Yeah, like what do I have to do?
If I don't get this fucking tuition paid, they're going to kick me out of college. He goes, don't worry, they'll take care of it. He didn't even look at me. He just like waved me off. And I'm like, thank God. So then I go through and I finally graduate college. I actually ended up being the honor grad in ROTC. So I was the #1 guy in ROTC, got accepted to flight school, reported to flight school, and graduated college, which was a huge surprise to anybody. Got into flight school, which surprised everybody, including the U.S. Navy. Went through the flight training program, got my wings on September 7th, 2001.
Whoa.
Yeah. Showed up to class. We had a class called BOLTC, Basic Officer Leadership Training Course.
It wasn't built around your last name?
Nope.
Okay.
And it was this fucking
Not
stupid
DeBoltzy?
death by PowerPoint. Here's how to lead troops.
Of course, dude.
And so it was me, 2 F-14 guys, a couple F-18 guys, a Halo pilot, and another P3 guy in this class. And they're teaching us leadership. Monday, September 10th. We're in class.
So you're already slotted to be a P3 guy?
Yeah, at this point. So the way the Navy works is you go through what they call, you've got API, Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination. Everybody goes through that. It's in Pensacola, Florida. It's just ground school. It's 6 weeks. They cover weather, aerodynamics, all the basic shit. And that was interesting. Water survival. They do the whole helo dunker thing. We had a guy, dude, check us out. Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, and of course, Navy going through this course. Marines, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard. Mm-hmm. There's an Air Force guy. The Air Force guys already showed up knowing what they were going to get. Navy guys have to earn it. So he had a contract saying he's going to fly F-15s. And his dad was an F-4 driver. Like, doesn't matter, but he was second or third generation fighter pilot. We go up on we had to get on a high dive. It's like 15 feet into the water and you're wearing full flight gear. And so the flight gear is heavy anyway, but once it hits the water, you're like a water rock, mm-hmm. right? And I've got a fear of heights, but it wasn't that bad. I was just like, fuck, dude. And he's right in front of me and he goes, I'm not doing this. And
like everything you had to do to get right there.
Yeah, exactly. And the fucking water survival dude goes, sir, you have to do this to finish this evolution. This evolution is part of flight school. He goes, I'm not doing this. He's like, in the Air Force, maybe you can choose that. I don't know. But in the Navy, you have to go through this if you want to complete flight school. He's like, I don't fucking care. I'm not doing this. Because he was afraid of the water.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, if you don't pass this, you're out of flight school. You're done. He goes, I don't care. And they're like, are you DOR? Drop on request? Yeah. He's like, yeah, I DOR. He's like, they asked him 3 times because they had to verify. It's the same as ringing the bell.
Yeah.
And he's like, I quit. The fucking guy standing in front of me quit. I'm like, holy shit. And my hands were shaking, bro. I climbed up on that fucking ladder and went into the water. And I was like, they will drag a dead fucking body
100%,
out of this fucking pool before I quit. Do you know how fucking hard I've worked just to get here? How many people told me I couldn't do it? How many fucking people laughed in my face? My fucking football coach told me they wouldn't let me fly a kite. Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Drag a dead body out of the bottom of the fucking pool.
The last thing it's going to get me is a fucking jump into a swimming pool.
That's right.
That doesn't mean that it might, like you said, you actually did have a fear of heights. It was kind of unsettling. Like,
dude.
Okay, well, now I'm here.
I hit the water and the water filled through my helmet and cascaded down my face as I took a breath in. So I just inhaled a bunch of water. I felt like I was drowning on the first day.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, dude. So anyway, you get through API and then you go to where you actually start flying, primary. Primary is, where they teach you how to actually fly an airplane. And then from primary, based on your grades and the needs of the Navy, they have what's called selection. And that's where you select either fly helicopters, jets, or maritime patrol, which is what I flew. And then there's another path you can go. It's like electronic, like the big surveillance airplanes. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to fly jets. And I did too. When I got done, so you finish and then they have selection each week there's selection. I select and there was only 2 jet slots. So the first 2 guys got jets and then I was somewhere in the top of the class, but I wasn't number 1 or 2. So I got maritime patrol, P3s.
What is the P3?
So the P3 was an old Lockheed Electra, which was at the time it was an airline. They used it as a 4-engine turboprop, big fucking airplane.
Okay.
They whacked 9 feet off of, they shortened it for tactical purposes and then packed it full of gear to track submarines.
Okay.
So it's got the big, long kind of stinger on the back of the plane. We dropped sonobuoys in the water. Our job was to track submarines. And then post 9/11, they retrofitted them. And so we were overland. We did a lot of overland flights where we were the eye in the sky for the SEAL teams, Delta Force, and stuff like that. We carried a air to surface or surface to air to surface weapon in case those guys needed it. But it was like last minute, like fucking all things are bad, smoke everybody, including us. It was not a laser, a super precise weapon, just a missile that would take fucking everything out. So you were like, we hope we never have to go master arm and fucking let that thing go because everybody's dead. But I was so fucking bummed, dude, because when selection came, it was that week where they just didn't have a lot of jet guys. I was qualified. I had the aptitude, the grades, and definitely even my selection officer, he's like, the selection for you is next week. What do you want? I'm like, I want jets. He goes, you're a fucking total jet guy, DeBolt. He goes, you'd be awesome. And, as a fighter guy, I ended up getting P3s. The week before that, almost everybody got jets. The week after that, almost everybody got jets. I just happened to hit
the way that it fucking
needs of the Navy.
So
man.
you were bummed by that, or was
I was fucking supremely bummed because you fast forward. So you finish that phase, then you go to learn how to fly either a helicopter, or in this case, I was twin engine turboprop. And then if you're a jet guy, you go learn how to fly jets.
Mm-hmm.
From that, you actually graduate flight school with your wings. From there, you go to what they call the FRS, the Fleet Replacement Squadron, which is where they train you how to fly the specific type of airplane. So like they'd send you guys, like these guys out here to Whidbey to learn how to fly the F-18s and shit like that. Me, it was Jacksonville, Florida, fly the P3. And then from there, I went to SEER school. And then from there, I met my squadron on deployment. Dude.
Oh, so you go basically right from training environment to real world op.
In my case, yeah. Yeah.
Which was not uncommon in that era.
Yeah.
For all different MOSs.
Yeah. My buddy, I had a friend of mine who waited for a year and a half before he deployed.
Yeah.
But we flew a mission on September 11th, 2002 on the 1 year anniversary. That was fucking wild. But September 11th happened. So I got my wings on the 7th, partied our asses off all weekend, came in bleary eyed on Monday, sat through this boring ass fucking PowerPoint, showed up Tuesday morning, and we're teaching class and they're like, hey, we need to take a break. We're like, okay, cool. What's up? Go in the coffee room, the TV's on, and it's Good Morning America or some bullshit. And they're showing one of the buildings is on, like, smoking. Like, the fuck? And they're like, oh, a small airplane hit it. We're like, that's weird. Like, yeah, it was like a sightseeing airplane crashed into the, like.
Isn't it crazy how information just gets, the game of telephone?
Yeah. And we're sitting there, and I remember I had just got a cup of coffee, and one of the dudes that was going to fly F-14s he was sitting on a couch, and I was standing right behind him. And I had just taken a sip, and smash, the second plane hit right there on TV when we were watching it. And he's like, fuck, did you see that? And I'm like, holy shit. And then they brought us back in the room. They're like, we're immediately standing down. Get the fuck off we had to do a muster. And they're like, go back to your muster space. Do not leave. Like my case was my house. Some guys lived in apartments and shit. They're like, do not leave, phone muster. And so we had to do that for like 2 weeks. And then we finally came back on base, finished the class, and then they sent us off. In my case, I went to Jacksonville, finished the P3 squadron or P3 training, went to SEER school for 2 weeks, left SEER school, and then met my squadron on deployment. And that's when we were doing the basically armed surveillance and reconnaissance is the best way to put it. Mm-hmm. We were just eyeing the sky for the.
What elevation are you guys flying at?
About 25,000 feet.
Okay. Is it similar to like how AC-130 just does counterclockwise rotations that's the same mission?
Literally it, yeah.
Okay.
The difference was like their job was to fucking kick somebody's ass.
Yeah.
Our job was like.
Yeah, they were all called like Death Dealer and the Reaper. Like all the AC-130s had these like fucking.
Yeah, man. And I'll tell you what fucked with my head the worst was we flew. So once you cleared, we would fly out of Oman and then through Pakistan. Mm-hmm. Once you cleared the Pakistani airspace and then you flew into Afghanistan, it was game on. I mean, it's always game on because it's, military flying, but it was like, okay, this is fucking for real now. And we would listen to the airborne ATC, the air traffic control guys, and they're talking to everybody. They're talking to all the coalition forces. They're talking to, and we could hear like F-18s getting called in for airstrikes, fucking Marine Corps sergeants screaming over the radio for fucking close air support. And I'm up there fucking doing circles, waiting. It's just frustrating as shit.
I get that on one hand, but on the other hand, the truth is, and I talk about this with a lot of military guys, because there's, we get a lot of civilians that are like, I never served and I feel bad about it, right? Yeah. And then there's also guys that did serve and they didn't feel like they did enough. And it's like, if every cog in the wheel isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing, none of it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you're 28 years old and you want to get it on, that's a very different thing.
100%.
Yeah.
And one night we had a mission with a SEAL on board. So we were supporting their team and he was on board listening in to our radio comms. His whole point was, we call him being a rider, a ride along kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And so he and their intel officer was with us, which was weird because she was a female, but obviously not a SEAL, but we had 2 people on board our aircraft. We get done. we take off usually around 6 p.m., like as the sun's going down, and don't land till 6 in the morning. It's a long flight. And I was in the seat most of the night, including the landing. And so after a while, you're just so fucking tired. And we'd been doing this op tempo for fucking ever. And
12 hours of flying a day, every day.
Every day.
Yeah,
and,
that's gnarly.
It was fucking gnarly. And so we land, shut down, and I'm the last one basically out of the airplane. And I shit you not, dude, that SEAL guy, the SEAL officer, waited until he basically had met all of us, but he waited for me. He could have left, and he shook my hand and goes, "Hey, thanks. You guys made a difference tonight." And I was like, no shit. I needed to hear that because I felt like my whole life had been in pursuit of being a fighter pilot, and I missed.
Yeah.
I felt like I missed it by a week. You know what I mean? And I don't know what would have happened. Like maybe I would have died in training. Who fucking knows?
Yeah, bro.
There's a reason for all this shit, but I was like so fucking bummed, man. So when he said that, I was like, okay, roger that. That helped a lot because he would know because his guys were his guys were the ones we were supporting that night.
Yeah.
You know?
I thought you were going to tell me that he said, "Hey, remember when I cut you for being 5 seconds too slow?"
That would have been fucking perfect, man. That would have been awesome, dude.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I'm sure you've arrived here at 55 years old because I arrived here a long time ago myself. There are certain things that you look back on, and if you start to play the coulda, shoulda, woulda game, guess where it gets you?
Yeah.
Nowhere. In fact, it turns you around and you start walking backwards.
Yeah.
You know? Because I mean, you've heard my flight school story, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Right? Like I wanted to fly helicopters in combat, right? Which,
Fuck yeah.
again, what about that calls to a young man why would you want to fly helicopters?
Yeah.
Dude, I remember when I took the AFAS, the Army Flight Aptitude Screening Test,
Yep.
one of the questions on it was, how often do you like to ride motorcycles? And it's like, and I don't even I didn't ride motorcycles or whatever. So like whatever that answer was, I don't remember. But then talking to people afterwards, they're like, well, motorcycles show a propensity to be reckless, and they don't want military pilots that are reckless people. And it's like, I want to fly 1/60th DAPS into war.
Yeah.
Wait, are you sure that you don't want guys that like motorcycles?
Right.
It seemed a little strange. So I remember I took the test. I went down to Fort Lewis, took the test, and was waiting. I came out of the room and Jenny was in the lobby, and I said, well, I'm not being a pilot because, you usually have a gut feeling if you did well or if you bombed it. I thought I bombed it. And the guy calls me my name. I go up to the counter and he goes, congratulations. This is the highest AFAS score I've ever seen come out of this office.
No shit.
I was like, fuck, dude, I think I guessed on most of it, right?
Yeah.
But no, and then got accepted in the flight school, then was down at Fort Rucker and hemorrhaged my retina in a CrossFit workout of all things.
It's wild.
And the PA is like, hey, an injury to your eye in flight school is a disqualifier. You're out.
Yeah.
And there was a period of time when it's kind of like, fuck, man. But I never really let that bother me too much because, again, like we talked about before we recorded, like quitting for me is something that would eat my soul.
Yeah.
If I was the guy on the diving board that was in front of you and I can't do this, fuck it, I would die with a piece of my soul still stuck up on that diving board.
100%.
But when things are outside of your control and you showed up and you put in work and you're the guy and you're doing what you know you got to do. I remember, I forget who it was, but someone down there said, hey, bro, just so you know, there could be a high tension power line somewhere with your name on it. Now you don't have to meet that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Yep. 100%.
And I'm sure you've come to that realization. It's like, okay, the universe didn't have me flying fighter jets, but guess what I did do? A bunch of cool shit.
Well, here's one thing that we always come back to, and it used to be kind of a point of contention, was I actually met my wife because she was my navigator. So she flew P3s. That's how that's how we met.
Well, there
we
you
started
go.
off as teammates, became good friends, and obviously the rest is history. So we wouldn't even be here, have kids. But what was kind of weird was we came off that deployment and I felt so flat. I was previously married, went through a divorce.
That's a prerequisite for most veterans.
Yeah, I think it is. Honestly, sadly it is. Went through the divorce, and then I just remember one night I had to stand duty. You know, it's a typical thing. You're fucking standing there, you know, phone duty. We're back off deployment, and I was checking in with my stepmom, and she was battling hard and not winning, and her breast cancer. And I was in the parking lot early morning, like on a Saturday, so the base is fucking empty.
What year is this now?
This would have been 2002, maybe 2002, going on 3, because I was getting ready to go through my divorce.
Okay.
My wife had already, soon to be ex-wife, was already gone, and I just was like, I fucking hate this. Like, I'm not a fighter pilot like I was going to be. Like, this whole thing sucks. I think I'm just going to quit. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm just going to walk away from the Navy. I'm just going to resign. I don't know how that looks. You know, I'll have to still
whatever your contract is.
Yeah, to do my time, but you know, I don't want to do this shit anymore. I fucking hate this. I wanted to be a fighter pilot. And she's like, okay, that's fine. I'm like, what do you mean?
I
She's
already
like,
feel it, dude.
you can quit if you want to. She's like, I'm not quitting. And she knew she wasn't going to win. Mm-hmm. Like, there's really no victory in this, but I'm not quitting. You can quit if you want to. So I went to work the next day, and the day after that, and things got better, man. And I will tell you, as hard as it is to say, I don't like knowing that I had it in me to think that I would quit, but I love knowing it, that I had it in me, that I knew I could quit, but didn't quit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not fucking David Goggins where it's like, fuck, I don't know what the word quit means. Define that word to me. Does it start with C or Q? Like, he doesn't fucking even know what the word means, right? Apparently. No, I know exactly what it means. It's just that I know that I won't. And I think that's an important, like, relationship to have. It's like,
bro, it's the most important relationship to have.
Yeah.
I say it all the time because jiu-jitsu teaches that in you.
And
I don't know if you've experienced this. I'm assuming you have. When some big, strong, formidable athlete is holding you down and has their knee on your face and you don't have any say. I tell people all the time, I have quit me. Because I've had to have conversations with myself in moments when bigger, tougher, more formidable men are having their way with me. And it's fight or flight's kicking in. You're losing the fight and you can't flee. And it starts to feel like panic settling in.
Yeah.
Which is weird because it's actually your friend who you're going to sit down and drink Element with afterwards.
Yeah.
But in the moment, your physiology feels like you're losing a fight. And for the last 100 million years, when another man is making you lose a fight, that means death is imminent. And you feel those emotions in training martial arts, and you learn to confront them. You learn to have an understanding of what that feeling of wanting to quit feels like. And I don't know if you've had this yet where you're like, fuck man, I just want to tap out, dude. I can't breathe. I just want to tap out. And it's like, hey motherfucker, this is what you're here for. Mm-hmm. Right? This is what you're here for. And talking yourself out of that emotional instability, to go back to that, and allowing the chaos that's taking place to control your decision-making process, rein it back in and be like, you know what? Okay, I'm not currently dying. What do I have to do? Mm-hmm. How do I make space? How do I have to turn? And bro, that becomes a superpower in life.
Beautifully said. And I've had this.
You're like, bro, of course, I'm a new white belt. Of course I've
tapped all the time. Adam lives here.
No. Oh, well, if you've rolled with Adam,
you
understand near-death experiences then.
I shit you not, dude. This is so fucking seriously true. It was right before, I'd only been at it for a few weeks, and I recently kind of jacked my back, and it was right before I was like, I had to actually take some time off.
Yeah.
He goes, we're getting ready to roll. And he goes, hey, do you have any injuries or anything? You know, he's being respectful. I'm like, actually, my back is. He goes, me too, man. He goes, we'll take it easy. I'm like, cool. We fucking slap.
This was a year ago?
Yeah.
Give or take?
No.
Or 6 months ago or whatever?
6 months.
Okay. Yeah.
We slap, bump, do the whole thing. And I shit you not. He picked me up and set me down like a child. Now, You probably can't tell. I'm like 215, 210, somewhere in there. Like, I'm not 115.
Yeah, I always say, like, guys like us, I consider us medium-sized humans.
Yeah.
You know?
He fucking set me down like a child. And then from there, I was like, you just like, I'd tap the pressure like that. I'm like, I can't breathe. And then the second time he did it, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to suffocate because I don't want to tap. But at the same time, so I'm only saying that to you because I've had that experience.
Yeah.
And it's fucking great because you're learning in that moment, like you said, like emotional resilience, emotional calibration to not panic. It's there. You don't want to quit. And the last thing in the fucking world you want to do is be a bitch about it, you know? But I'm like, if I can't breathe and I die, that's okay. But if I can't breathe and I pass out and then I do the funky chicken, like, or piss myself, that would be kind of embarrassing. I don't want to do that. Like, it's like this, you know, modulation between looking like a pussy and then looking smart.
I say this all the time, and people might think this sounds crazy. Nothing I experienced, both in training as being a member of the Ranger Regiment and even deploying to war, taught me about honing my warrior spirit like martial arts does. Now, let me say this too, though, because there are teams of guys, like, you remember that famous picture of that Marine Corps first sergeant shot through the leg.
Yeah.
He's being pulled out of a building in Fallujah. He still has his M9 pistol in his hand. He can't walk. A lot of men went through things that honed their warrior spirit greater than jiu-jitsu ever could, right?
Sure.
But I was never one of those guys. I never got injured. I never got shot. I had IEDs go off around me all the time, but it's always up in front or the back. Like, I never got my car actually blown up. And I don't know if it's just God looking out for me or it's just the rule of percentages, but getting shot at, it's actually not that scary.
Yeah.
Getting shot at is not as scary as Buchecha putting his knee through your sternum.
Sure.
It's just not. And I know that sounds strange because it's like, but that's your friend and you're training. And in the other scenario, that guy's trying to kill you. But if someone's shooting at you, and you'll appreciate this being up in the air, like, they either hit you or they didn't. And if they didn't, it doesn't have much of an emotional response to it.
Yeah.
Like, you might duck and be, oh, fuck, dude, that one almost got me, right?
Right.
I've had mortars land. Fuck, I was talking to Jenny about this yesterday. I've had mortars land on rooftops where I probably should be dead because it's like, you know, it's like that big fucking bassy whoosh and that loud crack. And it's like, and you feel like you're in a scene of Saving Private Ryan.
Exactly.
And then you look down and it's like, dude, nothing hit me.
Yeah.
I'm good. It's not like, oh my God, what's going on? It's like, it's actually excitement because you're like, dude, I'm okay. I'm good.
Yeah.
Now, for the guys that got their legs blown off and shit, obviously they're confronting something that I can't comprehend.
Yeah.
But in my experience, martial arts hones the warrior in you greater than I experienced even in combat.
Yeah.
Which is nuts, but it's truth.
You know, you said something in your book, and I swear to God, it was like chapter 6. It stood out to me, and that's how much I remember it. But you were talking about one thing that you've come to realize, that one of the causes for PTS is a lack of purpose.
Yeah.
Do you know
Of course.
I mean, I know you remember, but like,
bro, I don't say that because there's been people that have referenced stuff out of my book. I'm like, fuck, I wrote that 2 years ago now.
I know.
I said that.
I get it. But I just, you know, it's like when you said that, or when I read that, I was like, fuck, bro. Because when I felt, that's kind of how I felt when I didn't get to fly jets. And then when I got out, I got out on purpose. But I got out also, like, there was a sense like I can't keep doing this because I was about to get deployed again. This time it was going to be Afghanistan, about 18 months. So one thing I didn't tell you is I got deployed to Iraq as an IA, individual augmentee. And so I was shore duty in San Diego, living the life, man. We were flying out of North Island, flying a C-12, which is a twin engine turboprop. It's a fucking hot rod, dude. You know, $5 million fucking hot rod. And all we did was we would do sonobuoy testing for the Navy and then logistic flights, fly cargo sometimes, usually personnel, typically flag officers. But a couple times we flew some MARSOC dudes into Fresno because they were doing some mountain training. So, shit like that. Force recon guys. Anyway, the point is, it was awesome duty. It's exactly what you want to do. We were expecting our second child, and I'm sorry. This is we had just had our first child, and we were getting ready to get married. My stepmother was in her last, battle with cancer. We were in San Diego, and I get the word, "Hey, the skipper needs to talk to you, or the XO needs to talk to you." I'm like, "Roger that." So I come into work. "What's up, sir?" He's like, "Sit down." He's like, "I got good news and not great news." He goes, "Good news is officer fit reps, your evaluations are done. You came in number 1. And I had you slotted for instructor pilot," which is a huge, you really want that as a pilot.
That's like a very honorable thing to be asked to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Think of it like...
I think you're training the next generation.
Exactly.
What's more honorable than that?
Exactly. And I'm like, cool. I heard had me slated. Yeah. I was like, that's where the fucking not good news. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers needs guys. And they pulled from here, and unfortunately they take the highest eval'd people. So you're going to Iraq. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you're leaving for Iraq in 3 months. I'm like, well, I'm supposed to get married in 2 months. He's like,
perfect timing.
Yeah, perfect timing. And he was really cool about it. He wasn't a dick.
Yeah. And here's the thing, bro. When you're living that life, I tell guys all the time, don't step into that life unless you're ready to hand the reins and the control of your life over to the U.S. military.
Exactly. And you asked that question, what is my thought on the current military? We can dive into that all you want. But I was at the time, so I got sent to Iraq for 6 months. I left on my daughter's first birthday. I was on a C-130 on May 21st, 2006 rather. So I didn't get to see my firstborn blow her candle out, and ended up in Kuwait for a couple 5 days or whatever it is, then Iraq proper.
What was the Army Corps of Engineers needing a pilot for? I don't understand that connection, because you weren't over there flying.
Nope.
It was like an administrative position.
For the.
Were you at Al Assad or something?
We were
TQ.
Baghdad.
Oh, you were okay
in the green zone, and then I was in the green zone for 2 months, and then they sent me to Basra. There was a fob in Basra that they used. My job changed completely. I was basically like a glorified real estate agent, turning that property over because it was owned by the RAF, Royal Air Force. And we were giving the keys to the Iraqi Special Forces. So I had to do a deal where I sat down with a Navy SEAL commander, his lieutenant, and another dude, and sit across the table with them and the Royal Air Force commander, this uppity, Air Force captain, or Air Force, their version of a general, and have this debate back and forth about handing over this property. And the whole time, dude, this fob is small. It's probably twice the size of this property.
Okay.
But it's just got the typical 12-foot fucking, concrete barrier wall, and that's it, with a barbed wire on top, the guard things at each corner, and then what the fuck was that called? Where they'd pour the concrete or the
Escos.
Escos, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So those were our bunkers and shit, in case we got fucked. And the thing was under attack every other night.
Yeah.
So when you were talking about mortar rounds going off, shit, we had one land in the camp, and it sounded like it landed in our back, in the fucking backyard. I was like, holy shit, dude. So this whole fucking time I'm over there, and I just left you just got married. My daughter just turned 1. So we had her out of wedlock, if you didn't do the math there.
Blasphemy.
Yeah, exactly. My stepmother had just passed away. My stepmother lost her battle on April 20th. We got married April 22nd.
Okay.
So I had not even shaken that off.
Yeah.
I'm walking down the aisle. And then 2 weeks later, I'm in fucking Fort Jackson, South Carolina, going through, how to clear a room and all this shit that I was never going to do anyway. And then I get sent over to Iraq, and I'm there for 6 months. And it was so fucking frustrating because I'm in my flight suit with a fucking Beretta 9mm, and they're like,
well, the worst handgun ever.
Dude, so bad. That's another story. And it's just this whole futility of it. So when you were talking about that in your book, you're like, PTS isn't necessarily fucking rounds going off or lost limbs, which is obviously
can be part of it, but that's the foundation of it.
But I went through this really fucking hard time when I got out, and I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, dude, I didn't have that experience. Like, I had friends that died, and I knew guys that died, and they were fucked up, and dudes that were like in legit high stress, like that dude you were talking about shot, with fucking carrying his 9mm.
Yeah.
Like, those guys deserve what I'm feeling right now. How the fuck come I'm feeling this way? I feel like such a fucking, now not only did I not live what I thought I was supposed to do, now not only did I not do the shit that I came to do, and then got sent to Iraq to do bullshit admin work when I'm the guy you want to fucking point the spear, motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So now I'm sitting here feeling shitty. And when I read that page, I was like, now you understand, I've come to that. But when I read that, I was like, more people need to read, especially vets, need to read this book for that fucking page right there. Mm-hmm. Because what I don't think people understand is you don't even have to be a vet, but if you have lost purpose and you had it, it is the most terrifying darkness I have ever personally experienced. Like, some shit, bro, that terrifies me to even think about, let alone talk about out loud. And I'm not even like, I was never like Andy Stumpf, badass kicking doors and fucking blow shit up. Like, I was a P3 pilot, you know what I mean? And so to come back and to be able to relay that story and to hear you say that in the book, I was like, God damn. I sat there on my fucking, I was like, okay, don't lose it. Just, you're reading a book, bro. It was really powerful, because I think to kind of bring it full circle with jujitsu is I don't have to be good at this shit.
Yeah.
I feel a sense of purpose when I get my ass fucking handed. Even when I tap, I'm like, I got better today. Mm-hmm. Adam showed me just how fucking not good at this I am by laying me down like an infant on the thing. Like, I have so much to grow from, but I learned by being with that.
Yeah. So when you were in Baghdad and Basra, this was 2006.
Yeah.
And then you got back. That was your last deployment? You ended up getting out?
Yeah. So I got out.
And you at that point, you're looking at what? 10 years active duty, 15, 12.
Yeah. So I was at 12.
So you're at the point where it's like, am I here for the long haul, or is it time to do something different with life?
Not only that, but they were offering, if you stayed into,
that was $100,000 signing bonus or something.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to say?
Like that.
I remember the Warthog pilots we were with in Afghanistan were like, we got $100,000 re-enlistment bonuses.
Yeah, buddy.
And when you're a fucking soldier.
Yeah. $100,000. You're like, I'm going to live the rest of my life on
tax free. I'm rich.
Yeah, exactly. It was that. Plus there was the signing bonus. And then there was another one where if you got out at 15, you got partial retirement. So I'm like, ooh, if I just suck it up for a few more months, really 2.5 years.
Yeah.
But, I was going to go into the active reserves and fly for them. But they were like instantly 18-month deployment to Afghanistan. And we had just had our second child. I'm like, I'm not playing that again.
Yeah. Well, bro, I'm actually proud to hear you say that, because there's two sides of the same coin, and being in the military and putting mission first and sacrificing your own happiness and your own family, there is an element of that is necessary and that is honorable. Mm-hmm. I mean, I had homies that went from Ranger Regiment to Delta Force, and they got babies back home.
Yeah.
And they're kicking doors, and it's like, okay, I can understand that. But the conclusion I've come to, especially later in life, what's more honorable is setting down your fucking shield and being dad.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, hey, cool. You go back to Iraq or Afghanistan and get shot out of the sky, and they'll put a flag over your coffin and they'll tell stories to your daughters about how fucking honorable your father was. At the end of the day, that is detrimental to their development. Right? Yeah. Now, obviously, like, well, aren't you just going out on the ocean right now? Right? You got kids. Like, I get that there is a dichotomy. That's why I said it's two sides of the same coin. Yeah. You still have to be you. You still have to pursue your dreams. You still have to make sure that your goals and your dreams actually do come before your children's.
Yes.
Because you 100%. You can't stifle your life at the detriment of yourself just to be there for them, right? But at the same time, I think it's important for men to take a period of time in their life where family is your priority. And if you're not willing to do that, maybe sit out the family side of things. And if you look at my life from the time, bro, my last deployment was 2009 because I got a fucking email with a picture of a pregnancy test. And Jenny says, I can't keep doing this if we're going to have a family. I said, I think you're right. And now my daughters are 11, 14, and 17, and they're becoming like confident young women. Now I can start to look at prioritizing some of my dreams and shit again, right? That doesn't mean I still don't have value to give them as a father. If I were to get killed out there, there's going to be a hole in their life. All that's true. But at the same time, how many guys did you see that just put mission first for 25 years and their kids are completely estranged?
Yeah.
That's not being a man either.
Nope.
And so it's like, and walking that fence is hard. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I have all the answers, but I do think prioritizing your family and weighing that against who you are in the military, that holds a lot of weight in that scale. And if you walked away to prioritize your family, I don't think anyone could ever like act like that's not an honorable choice.
Yeah. And I appreciate you saying that. There was, we went down a path of entrepreneurship, and that is a whole nother conversation. Like, that was brutal. The first few years was just, we got our asses handed to us. And it was at a time in the kind of like world economy, US economy, where it was really tough starting a business anyway, especially with no experience, you know what I mean? Leaving the military I was looking at a promotion. I was going to go from 03 to 04, which was cool, I guess. And, steady paycheck, all the medical, dental, all that bullshit that you have for kids. And now we're getting out with a baby. This is insanely stupid. Starting a business. We didn't know what we were doing. It took 9 months to lose our life savings and lose our house and our investment property and have our cars repoed and have to ultimately fucking declare bankruptcy. And it took me years, Greg, before I could even say that out loud. Before I could say
You're so ashamed of it?
Yeah, so ashamed of it. And
but bro, it's jiu-jitsu. You don't show up as a white belt and have any success. Hey, I want to be an entrepreneur. You're going to make $500K your first year. No, you're not.
Yeah.
You're going to suck.
You're going to suck bad. In fact, you know what's crazy to me is jiu-jitsu is so close to aviation and entrepreneurship. So like,
of course it is.
As a speaker and as a coach, like a business coach, leadership development is my main thing. I talk about this shit all the fucking time. Anytime I speak, and now I have jiu-jitsu to kind of pull from it. And I'll be honest, I was really quiet about jiu-jitsu for the first few months because I didn't want to be that guy that's like,
you've been to 6 practices. And I see the value.
Yeah. I was just kept it real quiet. And Rachel Anderson, one of the purple belts, she was like, you should talk about it. I'm like, no, I haven't earned that yet. She's like, yeah, you have. You've been at class. I'm like, all right, fine. So I started kind of sprinkling it in. And I've got a friend of mine back in New Hampshire. She's a purple belt. She's a fucking savage.
It's a beast.
Oh, fuck. She'll whoop your ass. Well, not yours, but her husband's a black belt. He's a fucking man. He's like no neck, big lats, fucking shaved head. And he's just like a 6-pack. He's fucking jacked. Anyway, they were both kind of like, hey man, you should be like, you've earned, like you've been there consistently enough. Do you know what a Kimura is? I'm like, I know it hurts. I don't know how to do one, but I've had it done to me. They're like, okay, like for a while I couldn't even the other night, Anthony was like, breathe through your nose. And I'm like, fuck, dude, that's really smart. Shit like that. Like every fucking day I get better. So I like to talk about jiu-jitsu from a standpoint of like the leadership lessons that I get, not from, and here's how to do the thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to be one of those guys. I'm not there yet. And I'm nothing against guys that do that. It's just like, I'm a fucking white belt, bro. Like I just recently figured out how to tie my belt correctly.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Well, here's the thing though. You may not understand jiu-jitsu's technical proficiency very well, but the lessons are coming in like you're drinking out of a fucking fire hose.
Shit, yeah.
And that's real.
Yeah.
And you can share that because you're experiencing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Dude, it's so fun. It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Dude, here's another thing that I think is important to talk to soldiers and police officers and really any member of the military, because you're like, oh, I'm a 04 and I got a good dental plan. I got a good medical plan. And it's like, yes, your family will get taken care of. They're not going to go hungry. They're going to have a roof over their head, right? But I would be interesting to hear your thoughts. Like, you don't realize how much you're struggling when you're making $100,000 a year with benefits until you triple it.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, this is what just being able to relax feels like. And not wonder about the next paycheck and then this fucking bill and my kid broke their arm and now I got to pay this deductible and then the transmission went out. And it's like, there's always this stress of finances, even though you know, like, okay, I'll probably be good and I'll be able to feed them. And don't get me wrong, dude, if you're in, I always am very careful when I talk about this because I don't want to project any negativity on the people that are E6s in the Army right now. And they're currently living that.
Yeah.
But going from being that guy to being someone that is now, and we're not fucking rich yet, but we're financially stable enough to where it's like all that stress that you carry is like,
yeah.
And I can tell you, once you're not carrying that stress, it literally feels like you're setting down the heaviest ruck of your life.
Bro, beautifully stated. When I was an E4, I was single, had no responsibilities. I had a lifted 1984 Toyota 4Runner that had a Corvette engine in it, 35-inch, like big ass. It was this monster truck looking thing.
E4 is probably one of the best phases of our lives.
Fucking awesome, dude. So great. Yeah. All we did was fucking party and work our asses off. Like I worked all the time, but I fucking loved what I did. I was turning wrenches on jets, launching them off the pointy end of a carrier. It was great. Got out and, basically kind of carried that lifestyle in for a while, but I was so fucking broke and I didn't care.
Yeah.
Then I got to, you start getting responsibilities where you've got people that are counting on you that you provide for and protect and all these things. And that burden of life comes crazy. And like you were just talking about, but here's the ultimate thing that I think is most important. And this is what, if anybody's like listening, they're like, oh, should I stay in? Should I get out? It's like, you have to choose what is really important to you. I've caught myself so many times on a Tuesday at fucking 10 a.m. just deciding, you know what, dude, let's go down to the Mukilteo waterfront, go for a walk, drop in and grab some lunch just for no reason. It's a Tuesday. You know what I mean? And not out of arrogance, like, look at me.
I can do what I want.
I still got shit to do, but it's like, I don't have to fucking do it till later. Or maybe I'll do it on Wednesday. Or no, I took care of it on Monday. Because it's like that self-directed fucking thing. And
bro, it's the best fucking thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Exactly.
If I want to sleep in tomorrow. And dude, there's also days when it's like, I got kind of a fucking migraine. I'll text some coach and be like, hey, can you cover this class or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
But when you're not just beholden to the system, the level of freedom that comes from that is like, oh. And you literally feel like the cortisol fucking dissipate out of your veins.
Yeah.
And I honestly think you want to talk about like PTS and depression and everybody being on meds. I also think it's just part of that cycle.
Yeah.
It's like 5 a.m. formation, this, go, show up this time. And you never just get to go fucking, what about me?
Yeah.
What do I want to do? and again, dude, I don't think at 22 years old, you probably should be in a phase where you just get to do whatever the fuck you want. I always talk about on the podcast is like, I think being a worker bee for a period of time in your life where, hey, show up at this time. This is what we're doing. This is where we're going. Yes, sir. And learning how to be good at following orders and showing up and being accountable. I don't think you can ever step into who you're supposed to be unless you master that phase too. But one thing I think is important is I think in your 40s, you should figure out a path to set yourself free. Now, if you're a doctor or you're a cop or you're a lawyer, whatever the fuck you are, if you still like that job and you like the mission, cool, right? Still figure out a way to set yourself free, because if you never do, you're beholden to a system. And if you're beholden to the system, it is in some capacity, well, fuck it, I'll just say it's a form of slavery to a certain extent.
100%.
And that's not me casting shade on any of that stuff. We need all this stuff in society. And I did that for the last 20 years. Like, I was part of it too. But for my own happiness and growth, and I'll tell you this too, my physical health has improved dramatically from walking away from being a cop.
I believe it.
it's an element of stress that you carry both physically. You got your gun belt on and this, bro, every year would be like, new policy directive, you need to carry this. New policy directive, you need 1 less than lethal on your uniform. You need 2 less than lethals on your uniform. You need 3. So now I have to have a taser, a baton. I don't fight with batons.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna hit someone with a stick. Because guess how many times I've done it in training? 0.
Right.
And it's like, before you know it, everything aches. You're always tired. Like, I remember being in my patrol car countless times when I'm like fucking droning. I'm so tired.
Oh, yeah.
You probably felt that flying for 12 hours. You're like, fuck, I can barely stay awake.
Yeah.
But if I fall asleep, this plane's going to fucking crash and people are going to die.
Yeah.
So again, I get that there's an element of, or there's a phase in your life where you just have to show up and grind. I get it. If you can figure out a way to set that down, I can promise you it'll move you into a phase where emotionally you become more stable, your relationships with your woman becomes more stable, and most importantly, you're not worried all the time.
Yes.
Most people are worried all the fucking time, dude. And it doesn't get you anywhere.
Yeah. Well, it's you bring up a really dude, we could go all fucking.
That's why I said you're going to be a regular, bro. Because the next episode will be your fucking talking about being a leader and your development and that kind of stuff. Because that helping other people develop, bro. I used to be reluctant to help other people develop because I'm not Tony Robbins. I'm not going to stand up on a stage and be like, if you do this, this, and this, your business will do that. And then, and I'm not casting shade. I actually like some of Tony Robbins stuff. I'm saying I'm not a guy that feels comfortable telling everybody else what to do.
Amen.
But I'm also a guy that has a tremendous amount of experience at this point in my life. And that was one of the things that made me write the book. I'm like, I can share what worked for me and what didn't.
Yeah.
That's not being arrogant. That's not me telling you what to do. This is saying, like, if a 25-year-old Ranger reads that book, he's going to know a lot more than if he didn't read the book.
100%.
Because I'm him 20 years later.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you share that stuff?
Yeah.
Right. And now at a point in my life where it's like, I enjoy being someone that can help enrich and help other people's lives. Bro, that's what we're supposed to be doing.
1,000%, dude. And the fact that you put yourself out there, you wrote a book, you poured your guts into that thing based on your experience. And like the fact that it's really wise the way, in my personal, but also very well, experienced opinion is you wrote it from 2 standpoints, your story and our story. It's like, here's what I went through so that people understand the perspective that you're coming from. They can then appreciate and value the what's in it for me piece. Like, as you start to teach them, like, these are the things.
Yeah.
And like, I kind of wish more books, like, no offense again to Tony Robbins, but it's like, you just sort of take Tony at face value. You're like, well, it's Tony Robbins, so whatever he says. But like, they will get, in my opinion, more out of a Greg Anderson story because of that. Like the way you should both sides of your story, your story and then the story.
And I was very intentional when I wrote it because a lot of my peers, like GWAT era veterans, a lot of the shit coming out is just, oh, look how badass I am, dude. Yeah. And like, this is how many guys I killed, and this war story and that war story. And I have a couple war stories, like, and I'm not afraid to share them. Mm-hmm. But the guys that have been there, done that, we also know that those war stories are a piece of who you are. It better not fucking define who you are.
Yeah.
And a perfect example, Tim Kennedy tried to make it define who he was, and he fucking crashed and burned.
Yeah.
He crashed and burned.
Yeah.
Because he tried to overemphasize killing bad guys.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we've all killed bad guys a time or two in our lives. If that's the path we chose as a SEAL or a Ranger or a Green Beret. But dude, I knew when I wrote it, this like, dude, if I want people to invest in part 2 of the book, what's more important in part 1 is not how many fucking bad guys I killed. It's what is just the truth of my journey. Mm-hmm. And that's why, I was very intentional. There was a page where I wrote, like, I've been on deployments where my weapon didn't come off safe.
Right.
And if people are telling you that they didn't have those deployments, they either didn't have very many deployments or they're full of shit.
Right.
Because we all have slow deployments, you know?
Yeah.
I had a deployment to Erbil. You ever go up there?
No,
Up in
but
Kurdistan?
I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
Just chilling up there, bro.
Yeah.
You could go to the mall. You could go to the mall and
wild.
shop.
Yeah,
And you're in Iraq.
yeah,
And you could go out to dinner and shit, dude.
yeah,
But that's neither here nor there. The point is, if you show up and be authentically you, people can feel that. And what you did, sure, there's an element of validity that comes from doing certain things and living through certain experiences. But in the foundation of being a leader, and we're all leaders, that's the thing. If you're a man and you have children, like it or not, you're a fucking leader. And an important leadership trait is authenticity.
Amen, brother.
Period, dude. And people will love you more for saying you didn't shoot anybody than find out that you bullshitted them and that you killed 50 bad guys.
Yeah.
Period.
Exactly.
You know, and so like, and Andy Stump did a very good job on his book too. It's not out yet, but I got a VIP copy.
Nice.
And I'm not done with it yet. But Andy was very intentional. He's like, dude, I don't want to look like a fucking action hero because sure, there was times when I was like an action hero, but there's plenty of other times where went through this ugly fucking divorce, didn't know how to navigate that very well, and like got shot and got kicked out of DevGru. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say kicked out, but I mean, do you know his story?
I don't know.
He couldn't promote because he didn't have. I forget the term in the Navy, but it's like you have to hold a billet for so long.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah.
And halfway through that billet, he got shot.
So he couldn't even.
And they said, like, sorry, it was you did not complete. And it's like, okay, this is, well, here's another thing to say about the military too. Not to cast shade, but just truth. And Andy Stump is a perfect example of that. You can give your whole life to the mission. Mm-hmm. You can be, you don't go from SEAL to DevGru to where he was, when he got shot, he was actually attached to the unit. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did not know that.
And I don't feel bad saying that because I saw him mention it on Instagram yesterday. He was attached to the unit and he was working with the Army.
I did not know that.
Yeah, 6 guys from DevGru got attached to the unit. And I mean, he's literally the pinnacle of being a warfighter and got shot through the fucking pelvis, which for anybody that trains tactics at all, like pelvis is one of our fucking go-to targets. Mm-hmm. You shoot the pelvic girdle. We target that purposely because it's such a catastrophic place to shoot somebody. Mm-hmm. And he got shot there.
Yeah.
And then, oh, sorry, your shit doesn't work for us anymore because you didn't do this, that, and now you're kind of fucked. And it's like, at the end of the day, you are a number.
Yep.
And the machine continues with or without you. Mm-hmm. And it's not to hurt your feelings. It's just to know, you know what's not a number is your daughters, your wife. The mission, they are going to be there with you for the long haul. All your bros and regiment that you loved, they're not the ones you go home to every night. They're not the ones you have to confront when you're dealing with hardships in life. And so just be very intentional about understanding that phase has its time and it has its place. But fuck, bro, it's not everything.
Yeah, it's true. And, you know, even like nowadays, the question was, I've had veterans ask me this and just talked about it with people that were kind of in that circle. Like, would you join now? I'm like, no.
My answer is also no.
I don't think I would. And the reason I say that is multifold. One is when I joined, it was a very different world. Mm-hmm. And maybe it was just my world that was different. Maybe I was asleep. Who fucking knows?
Young and naive.
Bro,
I wanted to go kill Iraqis because they hated our freedom.
Roger that. Now we know.
And bro, I was wrong.
Yeah.
And when I say that to people, it's not a sob story. I was brainwashed. I was manipulated. The U.S. government did this to me. I went to MEPS and joined.
Right.
It does. Yeah. Okay. I was 17 years old. At the end of the day, that still falls on me though. Mm-hmm. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And when I went and signed up, and I, like you, I was already in at 9/11. I joined before 9/11. So like, I didn't even know that this was going to be transpiring with my military career. But now when I look at what's going on right now, we see the same thing playing out over and over and over. And for me, bro, I'm a vibe person. I read people's energy, their eyes, their posture, how they carry themselves, how they speak. When you see a lot of these foreign leaders, and the Iranian foreign minister is one of them, there's two sides to this story, and the U.S. is responsible for a lot of the bullshit that's taking place. That is my assessment. I mean, fucking Joe Kent is a personal friend of mine.
Yeah.
When Joe Kent steps away and says, I don't agree with all this shit, if that doesn't make you fucking raise an eyebrow and say, what's really going on? I don't think you're being honest. And all these people in MAGA are like, Joe Kent's a bit, and it made me realize something. The whole Joe Kent thing was an eye-opener for me, because it's like, oh, all you fucking MAGA people are just as quick to shit on anybody if Trump tells you to do it.
Yeah.
You're not being a critical thinker. You know, like, and bro, I'm off of Trump's team.
Yeah.
In fact, I fucking hate Trump now.
Right.
Because he said some personal shit that doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
If someone started talking shit about your wife, and I don't know your wife, you got a problem with me.
Yeah.
Because you and I hold personal respect for each other as men.
Yeah.
When I'm on this row, if my wife calls you and says, JT, dude, this just happened, I already know you got her back.
Fucking full
I
gas,
know it, dude.
Yeah.
I know it. And when Trump says, you know, when Kent's wife was killed and then he got remarried, I thought he got remarried a little soon. I do think that.
Dude, what a
You're going to take a fucking jab at Joe Kent's character, you motherfucker.
Right.
Right? And why are you doing that? Because first of all, he didn't marry Heather until 2023. It was 4 years.
Right.
Say, like, he's supposed to be single the rest of his life?
Yeah.
He's not supposed to know what new love feels like. He's not supposed to find a new connection with a woman.
Yeah.
It's death do us part, motherfucker.
Right.
And Shannon was fucking killed.
Right.
All right. And dude, he wrote a book about Shannon. He honors her all the time to this day.
Yeah. So does his wife.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
bro. And you're going to take a jab at him, his morals and his ethics.
Yeah.
Because he found new love.
Yeah.
Bro, fuck you. Right. Because now you're playing political theater with somebody that I hold a super high regard for. I'm off your fucking team.
Yeah,
Fuck
dude.
you, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And the thing that I don't understand is like people are like, you don't understand. He's playing 3D chess. He has to say this to be able to elicit this response so he can get support here. And I was like, dude, if you have to lie to get your way or to make your operation work, I don't want to be part of your operation.
No shit.
Because this is what he could have said. Hey, you know what? My director of national counterterrorism stepped down today because he doesn't agree with the Iraq or the Iran war that's happening. And me and Joe don't see eye to eye logistically, operationally. We don't see eye to eye on the risk versus reward of this engagement. And because of that, sounds like we're going our separate ways. I wish Joe the best. He's always been an honorable person. And fucking boom. And this is what makes me realize Trump is not a good leader.
Yeah.
If you were to say that, your stock would go up.
Exactly.
Your stock would go up. But he's so arrogant that because Joe Kent's not in his back fucking pocket, I'm going to have to try and tear him down and hurt his reputation. And every single time Joe Kent has spoke since then, he's like, listen, I have nothing but respect for President Trump. We don't see eye to eye.
Yeah.
And then he starts unpacking why he thinks the Israel influence is taking President Trump in a direction that's not good for our country. Why can't a politician have an opinion that Israel's interests may not be the United States' best interest? Why can't we say that?
Right.
Why can't we say that?
That's a great question.
If all of our money was...
That should be the question being asked.
If all of our fucking tax dollars was going to Uganda... While our schools were fucking going, like, go look at any measurable metric of what success means in America. We're going farther in debt. Our economy is not the best it's ever been. Gas prices are the highest I've ever seen. All of these different issues are still present right here. But we send all of our money to Uganda. Well, why do we send all of our money to Uganda? I think everyone would be like, yeah, why are we doing that? But because it's Israel, you can't even ask her you're an anti-Semite. So when language gets controlled, you know fuckery is afoot, dude.
Exactly. Well, when you brought up Joe Kent too, it was very interesting to me because okay, so let's take the Trump thing. Trump starts fucking bashing him. It's like, bro, you hand selected him. Not only that, you were fucking big on him when you hand selected him. So now you're saying that he's been a piece of shit this whole time. You knew this and all that. That just tells me that you basically just cut your own legs out from underneath.
You're literally saying he's not very good at his job.
He's not very good at his job, and I chose him. It's like, okay, but you fucking chose him.
And you kept him there.
And you kept him there. And a week ago, before he fucking resigned, everything was hunky fucking dory. Now, I get there are times where if you have like personal beef with somebody, like you may keep that quiet.
But if he was leaking sensitive information at that level, dude, he would have been fired fucking yesterday.
And exactly. And here's the other thing. What's always interesting to me is to watch who and what they say about a guy like Joe. And it's
they got nothing on him.
Fucking A. And it's nothing. Like the kind of bullshit they're saying, and the people who are saying it, I'm like, yeah, I trust this motherfucker as far as I could throw him.
Yep.
And I'm not I'm not into judo, so I can't throw anybody. But the point
I
is,
can teach you a couple throws. You only need one or two.
Mark threw me the other
Yeah.
day. Like, fuck, sent my ass across. Anyway, that's another talk. But yeah, the thing with Joe Kent was fucking supremely disappointing. And I was sort of, I was on Trump's team, but I wasn't like, fuck yeah, MAGA.
Yeah, just MAGA. Yeah, I was the same way. I'm not wearing a red hat.
No. But
and I still don't think Kamala Harris is this fucking shit. She's a fucking retard.
Dude.
I don't want her as our commander in chief.
So are we in a better place with Trump than we would have been with Kamala and fucking that twat Tim Wall?
Tim Wall? Exactly. Give me a fucking break. But here's the thing. Like, there's a lot of people now, like when I've criticized Trump, people are like, finally nice to see you wake up. And it's like, oh yeah, because you had it all figured out.
Yeah, exactly.
You had it all figured out, right?
Yeah.
Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Yeah. I'm not waking up. Suddenly I can see clearly now. It's like, no, his actions aren't congruent with the things that he said. And I no longer support that. You can find countless pieces of footage of him saying, all your politicians want to do is pull you into a war with Iran and blah, blah, blah. And here's the thing, JT, like, is there a time and a reason to go to war? Of course there is. Mm-hmm. If American sovereignty is at risk,
right. If
somebody attacks us, or if we can legitimately articulate something as imminent. Mm-hmm. Like if someone squares up with me and says, I'm going to fuck you up, dude, I'm going to knock him out.
Yeah.
Before I get hit.
Right. You're not going to wait.
Oh, wait for the first punch. So you don't know how to fight.
Yeah.
If you want to wait to get hit to start fighting, right? Yeah. So I understand there is a time and a place to employ military power against nations that may not yet be employing military power against us, mm-hmm. right? But I got to just go off of history. And Netanyahu has been standing in front of Congress for 30 plus years saying various countries in the Middle East are 2 weeks away from nuclear capability. He said it about Saddam Hussein. You can go back and watch it, right?
Dude, they've been saying that for fucking ever.
Forever, right? And so now, 30 years later, when Iran is 2 weeks away, and then in June, we obliterated their nuclear program. We set them back 100 years. Does that mean it's obliterated or not? Well, it did in June, mm-hmm. but a couple months later, they're back to 2 weeks away mm-hmm. from a nuclear weapon. And it's like, okay, what you guys saying is not congruent with truth. So it means one of two things. You're lying to push some other kind of agenda, or you are just simply saying whatever you need to say to keep the American people content, right? That's the thing they'll say is like, well, they can't release the truth mm-hmm. to the American people. Motherfuckers, you work for us, dude.
Yeah, let's not forget.
Like, I'm so sick of this. Oh, this is classified and this is sensitive. No, I understand operationally there needs to be a part of that, but it's the pendulum swung so far, they don't tell us fucking anything.
Yeah.
Oh, you want the Epstein files? They don't even exist. They're not even real. They're a hoax.
Yeah.
Well, why is your wife on TV saying she's going to start honoring the victims of the like? You guys are talking out both sides of your mouth. It's because you're full of shit.
Yeah,
you're full of shit on everything. And here's another thing that I'm done with, bro. I was in Ramadi and Fallujah in 04 and 05, the height of the fucking war. Mm-hmm. You know what? We never did. Bro, we would fucking be convoying down Route Michigan from fucking Blue Diamond to the government center. And they'd say, hey, could we have a AC-130 fly ahead of us and push out the frequencies to detonate the IEDs? No, we can't do that because the streets are too busy. There's too much of a civilian presence on the roads right now. Mm-hmm. We can't risk that type of collateral damage to try and protect you guys. And at the time, I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Dude, fuck the civilian presence, right?
Yeah.
That's because I'm 25 years old and I want to kill everything.
Yeah.
People that are in charge at a higher level around me understand you don't fucking kill women and children because of your operation. We don't do that.
Right.
Now, did it happen sometimes? It did.
For sure.
But we took every fucking possibility that we could. And this isn't 25-year-old Greg taking every possibility. It's the military machine that I was a part of. Mm-hmm. Always took collateral damage and civilian consideration. Met TC. Like civilian consideration is part of being a warfighter. Mm-hmm. You don't kill the enemy's women and children.
Yeah.
You don't do it. At least that's how I came up.
Yep.
And now that I have children of my own, I actually think it's stronger. And I see all these fucking pictures coming out of Gaza and now Lebanon of fucking 9-year-old girls with their faces blown off. And no one's willing to say, you can't, if I say a 9-year-old girl with her face blown off doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Well, you don't understand. I do understand, motherfucker, because I spent 10 years of my life in theater. Yeah. I do understand. And to beat the enemy on the field of battle, we don't got to blow up their schools and blow up their fucking churches. You know what you motherfuckers are doing? This is what they're doing. They're ensuring that there is no peaceful negotiation for generations to come. Because you blow up my daughter, there is no reconciliation ever, motherfucker.
Right.
And I think Netanyahu wants to ensure chaos in that region for eternity.
I agree.
And bro, that's the fucking truth. And every guy like us that is in our 40s and our 50s now that are former warfighters, we see it. Did you see what they're doing to Lebanon? They're just leveling fucking buildings, dude.
Right. With impunity. They're just.
No, you guys don't know. There's Hamas. And there'll be people listening to this. Say, you don't understand, Greg. There's Hamas fighters in there. Or you know what else a motherfucker said I saw online? They told him to leave. Leave your house.
Yeah, dude.
Or I'm going to kill your family.
Yeah.
And I'm the good guy?
Right.
Like, that exonerates you of responsibility. Where am I going to go?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When people say that, the other question I ask is, how do you fucking know? Like, you go, they were told to leave. Were they? Or was it leave? And then they're like, what do you mean leave? Bow.
Bang.
Like, there's no fucking real clear warning shot. And so all these fucking, armchair geopolitical experts now are trying to make a case for, one side or the other. And at the end of the day, the question is, you go back to the 9-year-old girl with her face blown off.
I saw one today that's sickening to me.
Yeah, and you're like, how do you fucking feel about that? Like, well, the minute they fucking they go down the path of, well, you don't understand. Actually, do you understand?
Yeah.
Are you just fucking parroting some bullshit that your fucking identity politics are telling you to fucking parrot because you watch too much fucking TV? You really fucking think for 2 seconds that makes sense? That's a fucking child, bro. These aren't war fighters. If it was fucking green on green, like two fucking green on red, I guess.
Yeah.
Like two fucking combat service.
Let them hash it out.
Let them fucking rip, dude.
Yeah. And kill them all.
It's not like like in the movies where there's two lines of fucking warriors and they're just running at each other. It's fucking combat. It's not like that at fucking all. Dude.
And then you see fucking Lindsey Graham.
Oh,
that motherfucker, dude. I would beat him to death with a hammer if I could.
Dude.
Oh, well, hey, the Secret Service might be knocking on your door. Fuck you. He literally said, flatten them. We flattened Berlin, we flattened Tokyo, and we should flatten Gaza.
Yeah. Well,
what? Like, those are our leaders, and we just sit back and say, you're literally calling for the destruction of a people. And we just have to accept that.
Yeah.
And bro, what they've done is they've conditioned the West to hate Islam so much that like kill them all and let God sort them out.
Right.
Just make it a fucking sheet of glass. I don't care. And bro, I am guilty of feeling that way because when I was 25, I thought Muslims were the enemy.
I said the same fucking thing, dude.
I thought Muslims were the enemy.
Yeah.
Bro, Muslims are not the enemy.
No.
And you guys listening that still think Muslims are the enemy, you heard it here first. Go Google Iranian Air Flight 655. Go Google that when you learn about how our Navy shot a civilian airliner out of the air filled with their women and children, right? Mm-hmm. We've been doing fucked up shit to them longer or just as long as they've been doing fucked up shit to us. How about we just leave them the fuck alone? Like, and bro, the more we dive into this, the less I think that it has anything to do with our freedom, or they say it on the news almost nightly. Mm-hmm. Well, you know that Iran has been chanting death to America for 47 years.
Dude, they're fucking saying it in downtown Seattle. So we're going to nuke those guys too?
What does it even mean?
Yeah.
They said death to America? They said something?
Oh, no.
They said something? What have they fucking done to us?
Yeah.
What have they done to us? Well, you know, Iran was in charge of a lot of the U.S. deaths in Iraq through proxy. You don't think if a foreign country invades Canada and is fucking slaughtering people in Vancouver that we know? It's like, hey, Greg, dude, this army is here and they're fucking killing us all. Mm. All right, bro, how can I help you out? You think that's out of the realm of possibility? Of course, we're right on their fucking border.
Yeah.
Of course they're going to take some type of action against us. And whenever I talk about this too, I also want to articulate to people, it doesn't mean that I think the Iranian regime is somehow this great fucking organization. I don't know enough about all the details, but I do know this. Do you know who put the Ayatollah in power? We did.
Yeah.
We fucking did. And it was because Iran started to figure out a way to really commercialize their oil, and British Petroleum said, we have to have more control of the oil in that region. We can't have this current government having control of their oil, and we don't have our little dick beaters in it.
Yep.
And he was overthrown, and then they put the Ayatollah in, Khomeini, and then everything kind of fell apart with our relationships. And it's like, how many fucking times do we as a country have to learn when we put our fucking little dick beaters into other countries, the way that they're dealing with their economy and their government, and we constantly have to fucking try and control everything? How well does it work out for us? It doesn't.
Yep.
And so, bro, I'm going to say my piece and then I'll let you close it out. But and again, this is just, when people hear this, they lose their shit. But it's like, if I had to guess what is truly going on, what I think is truth, I think it all ties into all of what we're seeing. I think the Epstein shit is a gigantic blackmail operation.
Agreed.
And I think Israel has so much dark shit over so many powerful people in our country that no one will stand up to them and say, fuck you, dude.
Dude, I agree with you on every count of that.
And lots of people do now.
Yeah. And I don't pretend to know. Like, I want to be clear. Like,
no, that's why I said it. Like, I just have to take what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
I have to take the energy. I have to, when I look in people's eyes,
yeah.
when Lindsey Graham, flatten them. And you look in his eyes and it's like, oh, you're a fucked up person.
Yeah, dude. Nobody talks
and Trump's
like that.
lying every day. It's always a different story. Was it they can't have nuclear weapons? Then it's regime change. Then it's they kill too many of their own citizens. And then it's, well, we need the Strait of Hormuz opened. It got closed because of us.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck do you want, dude? Mm-hmm. And so I actually think our government is the true terrorism network on planet Earth. I think we are, dude.
I agree with you, brother. And I think, if I had to, what's my solution to it? This is the reason that I'm really big on the whole like personal leadership thing is if you think for 2 fucking seconds, the reason it's on the wall of the fucking Jiu-Jitsu Academy, no one's coming to save you. And if for 2 seconds you think that the government's acting in your best behalf, I don't know that it ever has.
I don't know that it ever has
But
either.
I think there was a time in our lives, especially if you're over 40, you lived in a time when, there might have been that delusional belief that, oh yeah, they'll take care of it because we pay taxes.
We're the good guys.
We're the good guys. We're acting because we're the world's police. We're the world's first
We
aid.
promote freedom and prosperity.
Yeah, man. 911, who do you call? You call us, right? Not 911, 911, like
Yeah,
emergency.
yeah.
And it's like, yeah, man. So I'm just at that point in life where I don't fucking care if other people think I'm nuts Or if they go, hey, you're not towing the line, you're like, you're fucking right, I'm not towing the line. And
You're an anti-Semite.
Yeah,
you
you're an
hate Jewish
anti-Semite
people.
because I fucking asked a question. Are you fucking crazy? Or my favorite word is phobic.
Yeah.
You're
calling it a fear? I don't have fear, motherfucker.
I can guarantee you there's no fear.
Yeah.
I'm not phobic of shit. What I am is fed the fuck up.
Yeah. You're phobic. I'm fed the fuck up.
Yeah. There's a fucking difference.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck you.
Bro, if you look at any of our political leadership across the aisle, almost all of them are in AIPAC's pocket.
They gotta be.
Bro, it's proven. You can. There's trackapac.com. Look at what percentage of our political leadership in the House and the Senate and the president and like all of them, bro. They accept AIPAC money.
I believe it.
Then we send $3 billion of our tax dollars to Israel every year. $3 billion. And then they use it and buy a bunch of weapons and they're blowing people up.
Yeah. And
okay,
they're
so
like, tax the rich.
My money is going to blow up people in Lebanon. I can have a fucking opinion on it. And if you don't like that, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know? You already said it best. If you still think anyone on the right or the left has your best interest in mind, you're fucking delusional.
You are.
And there's a lot of us when Donald Trump, he said the things. I'm ending stupid wars. I'm draining the swamp. I'm going to be fiscally responsible and lower the debt. I'm like all of these things, accountability for the criminals that fucking perpetuated COVID. And like all of these things, like, yes. He didn't do any of it. I honestly think in his heart of hearts, he probably wanted to do those things, but I think he's a coward. And I think someone got to him and said, we're going to fucking kill your family.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
He's very controlled for sure.
He is controlled now.
Yeah.
And if someone said they're going to kill my family, I'd have a bunch of my regiment and unit dudes fucking get together and be like, come and kill us.
Yeah.
Show me that. And then I'd get on the news and be like, Benjamin Netanyahu thinks he's going to kill my family.
Yeah. Listen to this audio.
Yeah.
Boink.
So come do it, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And the world would fucking rally behind him, dude.
Courage is contagious.
Yeah, you're damn right it is. And it has to be, because I don't think they can control him through threats, because he's 80 years old, right?
Yeah.
They got to have a picture of him fucking some girl. They have to.
Yeah.
That has to be it, dude.
Or worse.
Or worse, right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing, like, what you don't understand is our political elite are all part of a blood drinking tribe, and they worship Baal and Baphomet and all this stuff. And if I'm being honest, nothing is off the table now.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't think every single person that wants to go to Congress wants to fuck 3-year-old girls.
Right.
But I do think all those guys in Congress aren't opposed to going to an island with a bunch of if I was 30 years old and some dude's like, hey, dude, check this out. These are the girls. And like, you think they're in their early 20s or whatever. And like you're down there drinking and fucking raging, young ranger raging, and a bunch of hot chicks. 2 hot chicks want to have a threesome with you. And it's like, I can see people getting pulled into that, right?
Yeah.
And then they come to you and say, by the way, there's 30 cameras in that room and both those girls are 14.
Yeah, exactly. And also, we slipped something in your drink and you did some shit when you were fucking not totally.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think there's probably, and this isn't to protect them. That's not what I'm saying.
No, I get it.
I just think that there was probably a masterful level of manipulation used against these people.
Yep.
Because, bro, why wouldn't they release the files? Well, the victims.
Oh, bullshit.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it's bullshit. I know it's bullshit. You do. Everyone listening knows it's bullshit.
Yeah.
The girls themselves are like, no, we are open with being publicly recognized because there's nothing shameful about being a victim.
No.
And pages are just redacted, dude. Page after page after page. And then, oh, well, we actually, the Epstein files aren't even real. That's just a hoax. The Democrats put a hoax together.
Are you fucking crazy?
Conversation's over.
Yeah, exactly.
We know what side. We know what side of the fucking. We know what team you're being either playing for or being controlled by. And the real men in America have had a fucking enough.
Yeah.
Bro, I think obviously radical Islam that wants to fucking behead people. I'm never going to be aligned with that. But I think the truth is, I don't think Christians and Muslims have to hate each other.
No, I agree.
You have, let's talk about when they overthrew Constantinople and like, bro, I could tell you more about history than most people.
Yeah.
About the Sultan's fucking destruction of the Roman Empire and how Islam pushed fucking west. Like, I get all that, but I think this hate between Christianity and Islam, I think it's been being manipulated by political leaders so far back. It might go back to the fucking Knights Templar, dude. Like it, or maybe beyond that. But I think a lot of people have been conditioned to hate each other, and I don't think they have to.
Yeah.
And like there's fucking Jewish churches inside of Iran. There's Christian churches inside of Iran. Mm-hmm. So what is really happening in there? I saw a video of a girl that's like, I've never worn a how the fuck you say it?
Yeah.
Hijab in Iran. She goes, no one comes up and fucking does anything to me. She goes, what we hear on the news and what I've experienced on the ground are not the same.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, please do.
I gotta piss.
No, let's wrap it up, bro. Let's wrap it up because it's 2:45.
Yeah.
I got a guy coming that I'm meeting at 1 to be able to work on the boat.
Nice.
So I'm just raging. I'm sorry. It's
No,
supposed
dude,
to be the fucking
I want
the
to
JT
have this conversation.
DeBolt interview.
I want to have this conversation bad. I think we need to continue it though, because it's an important conversation and it's not one that you can just have one off. It's because it's such an evolving situation. And here's the good news. And this is the part that I would just kind of tee up is there is always something we can do as individuals.
Yeah.
It starts with the individual, but it does come back to everything we've talked about today from jujitsu to other shit. It's you've got to find people that you're aligned with. You have to find people. You have to be bold enough to speak out loud so that people can even see you. It's like your beacon. It's like your fucking alarm. It's like the light, the strobes on a cop car. It fucking like, this is who I am. This is what I believe in. And if more people had the courage to stand up and speak, then they would see, like I said a moment ago, courage is contagious. They would see that there are other people that think like that. Now, listen, you might listen to the things that you and I were talking about, and some people are off put by that, but you got to go step back and go, what about the overall picture of what we're talking about? We're talking about two men who believe firmly, convictedly in what they believe in, and they're speaking it boldly without fucking any, like, I don't give
100%.
a fuck what happens out of this.
And if you think we're wrong, that's okay.
That's great. But just know everything that we said, I believe in.
I believe.
And I fucking stand by that. And you can publish this shit. It's going to go out and it's fucking all kinds of people are going to hear this shit. And I stand by what we said, and I will continue to stand by this. And here's the good part. By you and I having this conversation and other conversations you've had on this podcast, people can see it takes fucking courage, it takes clarity, and it takes the ability to speak that shit out, communicate it clearly for people to go, I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
You're not alone. And I'm not alone. That makes me feel empowered. So I'm going to take that next step. Now, for some people, it's just the simple act of going, I agree.
Yep.
That's their bubble that they got to burst. The next bubble is, okay, what am I going to do about it? And then pretty soon you start standing the fuck up on your fucking feet.
Yeah. And if we do that, and we do it in Snohomish, in Seattle, and fucking Florida and Montana, and more people start to seek truth and not stand in fear, that's when they can't stop us.
Fuck yeah.
So, fuck yeah. Thanks for coming out. It was a long episode. We're pushing 3 hours. But I already said we'll get part 2 on the fucking books when I get home.
Yeah, man.
Dude. Fuck yeah, I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, dude.